Defy Life. It's more than just about some football. All my sports teams off season go through withdrawals, 30 minutes to tip off. Like Rakim was saying, weak ideas give me ear problems. Sound like thunder and rain. I'm excited that you came on this journey with 3 of my friends. Defy life till we die and grow wings. Just a different perspective. Haters in every direction. Refuse to live my life based off your projections. Their expectations are lazy. My expectations are crazy. My lady defies me. Koozie, Brown, Brady, Jordan, LeBron, Aaron, Bonds, Mayweather, Ali Foreman. You get the picture, greatest ever born. I attack without warning. This is not around the horn. Them other shows whack, a lot of yawning. You really want to be the best, got to pay the price. We make winning look easy. Welcome to Defy Life. Defy Life.
Welcome to the Defy Life Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. You can listen to the Defy Life Podcast anywhere your favorite podcasts are available. Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, etc. As always, remember to follow, subscribe, like, and drop us a comment whenever you listen. You can also follow us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This is episode 69 of the Defy Life Podcast. I'm your host, J.R. Glymph, joined as always by my wonderful co-hosts, Keyonne Small, Thomas Stevens, Alvin Glymph. How's it going today, Keyonne?
I'm doing good. How y'all?
Good, man. Everything's good. Thomas, how's it going today, sir?
Going very well, man. I definitely can't complain. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's good to have you here to actually talk to you and introduce you. So,
Stop it.
Al, how's it going today, man?
I don't even know how to respond. I'm not used to following Eddie Kane, so it kind of threw my whole stick off.
Yeah.
But I'm doing good now. Real talk, I'm doing good. Good to be here.
All right. Well, a little bit of house cleaning before we really get started. So first to you, Al, happy anniversary.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. 23 years
23 years
in the
deep.
game.
Wow.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, man. No doubt. Congrats. And a dude who's probably out now. How apropos is it that it's episode 69 and it's Gerald Hedrick's birthday? Ain't no telling what he out doing.
He's nasty.
He's nasty like that. So, happy birthday, Gerald Hedrick. I hope you have a safe one and hope you're available next week. Hope you're still not recovering. Yeah, man. So, I'm sure as everybody's aware, I know you guys are. We got Defy Life gear, man. How about that shit?
Yeah.
We launched. We launched Defy Life gear earlier. This week, yesterday actually. It'll be 2 days ago when you all hear this. But yeah, Monday. This week we launched Defy Life gear, so go check it out. We got some dope T-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, pullovers, hats, everything. You want socks? We could probably get those too. So, congrats to y'all, man. It's good to see us, again making progress. So, salute to you, gentlemen.
No doubt.
Appreciate that.
No doubt.
All right. Well, on some news tidbits. We said last week that we were gonna try to find a little more upbeat news tidbits because we always go into that like fan questions like on a somber note. I tried and I'm sorry. Okay. Well, we'll start off with a little heavy one, and then we'll touch on a lighter note when maybe we can head into the listener questions on a lighter note. But first off, man, did y'all see this video of this Brooklyn nail salon?
Yeah, I saw that.
With the workers, there was a dispute over a $5 eyebrow job, and there's a few, like 3 black women in there that refused to pay because the lady basically ripped her whole eyebrow off, and she wasn't going to pay. And they got attacked by the employees at the nail salon, hitting them with brooms and dustpans, and one lady was spraying acetone in their eyes like it's crazy. So they've been shut down. There was, of course, protests and standing in front of the door, not letting people in. They basically shut the nail salon down and arrested the employees that were responsible for it. So crazy, man. It's nothing new. I mean, we see, especially we've seen, these businesses that come into our neighborhoods and open up shop and don't respect our dollars, don't respect us as people. Again, my question is, when are we going to start putting in the same energy we put into protesting when something goes wrong? Keyonne, why don't we put this same energy into supporting black businesses to keep them open in the first place?
Well, what jumps out in my ears and what you just said is they block the door from letting people in. Like, who's trying to get in? Like, who's still shopping there?
Exactly.
Like, you gotta, and they probably was mad. Like, I need to get my, whatever it was going to get. Like, I don't know, but yeah, man. Education, I guess. Gotta let them know, let the community know. Does that even work, though? I think everybody has to know by this point that we gotta support each other. Yeah. I just don't know what to say. Because take this out. In my neighborhood, well, in South Carolina, I was talking to my homeboys about the same kind of thing, and they kind of just dealt me out like the Indian guy. He's one of us, and it's kind of like, So I sometimes trying to get through to people who don't want to be gotten through to is an impossible task. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to help someone and they attack you for trying to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't know. So, Pooh, let me ask you a question. So, when's the like? Because we see, like Keyonne just said, we see Indians, we see Jews, Jewish people, we see Asians, we see all these people in black neighborhoods with businesses, and we always giving them our money.
Right.
Have you ever encountered, like, going into like a white neighborhood or an Italian neighborhood or an Asian neighborhood or an Indian neighborhood where there were black-owned stores?
No. I haven't. But they have like this upscale area down here in Columbia, and I think it's a little black-owned boutique. It's a little black-owned shoe store. And it's on Gervais, like it's on a harder Gervais. Nothing but black people. They work there. That's all I see in there. And the aura that it has, it's either someone that's black owning it, or they have a good marketing ploy to make it seem as though black people own it. But I definitely rarely see that.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's not a new thing, of course. I don't know, Al. What do you like? You think we'll ever get to a point where, like, as a community, black people are all in? Because I won't say it's not possible, because other communities do it. But do you think like black communities will ever be all in with buying black?
Ever is a long time. So, will they ever get there? That's, it's hard for me to say no on that one. But I'd like to think that something one day would change. In my lifetime is a different question. And, but at the, when you think about the amount of money that comes through our, they talk about $3 trillion, I can't remember what the money, what that number is now, but a significant amount of money that comes through African American hand. The opportunity for us to be have different outcomes economically is there. It exists. That's not even a question. But when I think about Keyonne's point about who's still going into the store, I did kind of chuckle in my mind, because I'm like, it reminded me of the Gambino, Childish Gambino video, where I just think we're not focused on that. You know what I mean? So it's like what I took from that video is all these crazy things happening around us, but we still tend to focus on or value other stuff as a society. And I thought the same thing. Like, why would you shop there? But we see that happen over and over and over. places we know, how are they still in business? Because people shop there. Yeah. But the one thing that came to mind when I saw the video, based on some of our previous conversations, was stand your ground. Mm-hmm. And in some states, you know, that video could have looked very different because that customer could have pulled out a gun and shot those people with those sticks and those brooms. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I think this law is so crazy, because to me, the better outcome is what happened in the video in Brooklyn, where, you know, people survive, they can litigate, people get arrested, you can protest, shut them down. We don't need a dead body to deal with. And to me, that's the problem with that law. But that's just another issue. But that's what came to mind when I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is hard for me to believe that this is the first time that particular establishment has had any issues. Like, you don't just jump out and start hitting people with brooms, you know?
Nah.
So my thing is, for the people that's been getting hit with brooms, why the fuck are you in there? Like, so it's hard for me to, like, empathize with you when you had to be in there shopping in order for them to hit you with brooms and you know, and harassing you. So, you know, it's a deeper issue. Because it ain't just start with them, I'm sure, even from that one establishment. So we got a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah, because I was just saying the situation I just talking about with the Indian guy. I got a homeboy that owned the store, sold everything the Indian guy sold, and my homeboys would not go there.
It's crazy.
They talk bad about it. They just wouldn't go down, but they just stayed the Indian. So it is a self-hate kind of thing going on. Yeah. But it's like I you know, at some point I figure out, like, so I don't get like high blood pressure. I focus on me, because trying to get people to move. Like, shout out to Martin Luther King and these other, you know, these type of people that give themselves for people that hate. I think I heard what's his name, Cornel West say the hardest thing is trying to love someone that hates themselves. How you say trying to. I don't know if y'all heard him say that, something to trying to love someone that hates themselves. Yeah, I think he said it verbatim like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
And that's spot on.
And see, the thing about that, Key, it's like, you know, I'm just saying us as in a whole, but not, you know, us. But like, we hate to see someone doing well. You know, we'll rather go out and support this other genre instead of supporting us. It's like, you know, if you shop with us, oh man, that's that garbage, man. Remember Lou such and such used to be such and such and such. Mm-hmm. They don't want to see him prosper. They don't want to see him rise. But to go back and look at something else, what was the prices like in that guy's store? Because I checked out, you know, a lot of, you know, African American people, and they do a lot of price gouging. You know, is that because they're not as big as the corporation and they're trying to get back too much too fast? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
I say his prices are higher than Walmart. You know what I mean? But Walmart, you really can't compete with that. But his prices, they were on par with the Indian guy's store.
Right.
And they just won't shop at the black dude's store.
Okay.
So it's some of what you said, self-hate.
Yeah, and like a lot of reasons why, a lot of reasons why black businesses' prices are higher is because most of them are small to mid-sized businesses. In which you know, most of their prices are going to be higher because they you know, they can't get things in bulk the way a lot of big companies can. So you know, they have a smaller inventory. You know, the ratio of their overhead is not, you know, is not as big of a gap as like a Walmart or you know, so you have to have higher prices.
So that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But my thing about that is, you know, when we go into, and this is what I see all the time, when I say we, like you, Pooh, I mean we in general. When we go into, you know, businesses owned by white people or businesses owned by other cultures, we don't question their prices.
No,
we don't question
their
prices. Even if it's corporations. I ain't never heard nobody go in the Apple store and try to haggle with an iPhone price. Never happens.
Or ask for credit.
Or ask for don't. Or ask for a hookup. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never see it. But the minute we go into a black-owned establishment, for one, we complain about the prices, and two, we lump all black businesses in with that one. So if people have a bad experience, if black folks have a bad experience at a black business, you hear a lot of black people saying, man, black businesses, man, blah, blah, blah. But you never hear them go have a bad experience at Kmart or at a white boutique and say, man, white businesses be killing me. You never hear that. So again, it comes back to just how we see each other and how we hate each other. It's ridiculous.
I think so much of that has to do with, and it's the self-hate, how we look at each other. But so often we devalue a black service, a black product, to the point that we don't want to pay what that given rate is. Where you look at a iPhone, and the way we value Apple, the way we value that product, so many of us unquestionably just say, you know what, that's iPhone, I'll pay whatever, I'll do whatever it takes to get the iPhone. Yeah. Where we don't put the same value on that. And I also think we lack a collective consciousness, you know what I mean, in the sense of, because if we really thought as a collective, I would be okay with paying a little bit more for Keyonne at Keyonne's store, knowing that Keyonne is one of my collective, he's one of mine. Me supporting him is supporting his. He's going to then put his money back into our community, and we're all going to benefit. So if I have to pay a little more at Keyonne store, that's all right. But we don't see it that way.
Now, I'm guilty of this too, because when you first start talking, my mind goes to when Sean John first came out. And I remember thinking to myself, he should be selling his shirts for like $12. And when cause he's black and blah blah blah. And when I just went to the store one day, not even looking to buy, I pulled out the price tag and it was like $70 for a shirt or whatever. And I was like, oh bullshit, why would he do that? But then I saw an interview and he was saying, because he started getting hit with that question, he said, you go to Polo and you will pay $90 for a Polo shirt, so why not pay $90 for a Sean John shirt? This is made in the same factory or whatever, same quality. So why do you feel like because I'm black, I have to charge you less money, even though you pay? You know what I'm saying? So that made me rethink everything, rethink my thinking. Like, you he's right. Yeah. It got a horse on it, so now I'll pay $90 for that. But I'm gonna hit a black man come. I'm supposed to pay $12 for his shirt. Yeah, it's
definitely. Yeah, even on like on a smaller level, like when I was when I was pricing out the stuff for the Defy Life gear, I went to other podcast sites where they sold their own gear, and make sure we were on par with in the price range. And for a second, it actually crossed my mind, well, maybe we should go a little lower. And like it took like 3 seconds, and I was like, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? For one, because I think as a business owner, you got to value what you offer, right? And two, like I don't want us, and when I say us, I mean specifically us, Defy Life. I don't ever want us to lower ourselves or lower our value based on what we think people may offer us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, that's why I refuse to go any lower. But I mean, we see it all the time. We see it, even on a micro level, like we see it, through social media, where there are people who refuse to share posts, or there are people who refuse to comment or like. We see that all the time. Or to follow our page. So we see that. But that's another thing I refuse to do is home because those people are given. You're gonna have that. I hate to see posts from people on social media like, I'm only gonna support people that support me. I just don't think that's the right way to do it. If you're gonna support, you're gonna support regardless.
But I learned that too. I've seen people like they wait, and I don't think this is a black thing. It's like they'll wait until, let's say, Chris Brown, you wrote an article and he liked it and he reposted it. Then these people that are standing right there never repost, gonna be all over because they wait because it's like it's cool to do it now. Yeah. So some of that's just weirdo, cheap thinking. Yeah,
exactly. But which also means I'm so thankful for social media because it does give us access, and I know for me personally, it gives me access to, groups, like black-owned businesses groups on Facebook, or black podcasters groups where there are a concentrated group of people who have the same focus of highlighting and and pushing and supporting other black businesses. So that I'm very thankful for. But you gotta find them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that I'm thankful for, because it does allow us to access people who we wouldn't be able to touch on a daily basis, to be able to connect with those people. So it's not everybody. When we generalize, of course, we don't mean all.
Right, and I got to be truthful. I was feeling a little, I was feeling a little sideways about that, because it's funny you brought that up, because it just dawned on me. Every time I see any of my people, or if it's not my people, but specifically my people, some friends of mine, they trying to do something, get something out there, I share it, comment on it, share it. Then they'll hit me, yo, thanks for looking out, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate it. I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. Boom, share. And we've been sharing and doing this for almost 2 years now. But these people have yet to share one of my posts. And I was like, dang, that's kind of funny to me. So I did feel a little salty about it. I'm not gonna lie. And that was just like 2 days ago. It just dawned on me. I was like, dang, that, I thought we supposed to be people, but but you want me to go out and throw your stuff out there, however you won't return the favor. So I felt a little shabby about it, though. I did.
In addition to that, and I mean, I agree with what you said, and I have been there. In regards to this podcast, in regards to my book, in regard, as you do stuff,
CDs.
You know what I'm saying? Do stuff in life, you'll see that, damn, some people just don't promote and connect and support the way you would have expected them to. And I think some of it is also that not everybody is a connector. Like, some people think like that, and that's just how they operate. And they are just like all of us, it seems like, damn, I see something, if I can help, boom, I'm going to try to help and connect and get the word out there. And some people, for whatever reason, are shy to do that.
Yeah. But it's like, because what I'm saying too, all of us saying the right thing, we not disagreeing. But if you was to take your book, and let's just say Oprah held your book up, all the people that would pay you no attention. Now they jumping over each other.
In a month.
Well, yeah. But that goes back to, and this is specific to black folks, and I'll say this because I'm, of course, I have more engagement with black folks. But yeah, it's like, because Oprah's black, so but we will wait to see, and like when it takes off. Because I mean, like, just because I don't harp on it, don't mean we don't notice it. You know what I'm saying? We do notice it.
Right.
But I'm sure, like, we also notice that, like, as we continue to grow, and as we garner, accomplishments, and that's what Defy Life or Al's book or like music or anything. As you continue to grow and more and other people start to recognize what you do, then your people jump on the bandwagon, right? And it sounds like I saw a quote today from, shout out to Amir Young, he's the admin of the Black Owned Businesses group on Facebook, but he posted today, it was like, nobody complains more about what you do than somebody who don't do shit, right? So, we see people all the time complaining about, man, this dude always sharing his stuff. This dude always posting and promoting it. Like, see people all the time complaining about, how people always, how certain people are always sharing stuff and flooding my timeline. But them the people that don't do shit, but they don't complain about an Amazon ad flooding their timeline, or, so the same things like, it's, if you got 16 followers on Twitter, ain't nobody else gonna follow you. You get to 1.6 million followers, everybody gonna follow you just because they see that 1.6 mil. It don't matter what you got on, in your content. That's just people being people. But I don't know, man. We got a lot of work to do.
Hey, one more thing. Go ahead.
Wait. Well, I'll just say, and then the problem shift to go from having people that trying to get people to follow you to now these people trying to tear you down.
Oh yeah.
Like how many people were happy to see Charlamagne go through a little bit of you know what I'm saying? People gleeful over that. Yeah. Like I'm seeing him post stuff like he, you know, every morning he does like God bless me for the day or whatever, and it was like you raper and how many people did you rape today? Just like so your problem shift. I guess what I'm saying is more people come in, they start. That's true. I probably totally throw you off. Who's about to say Pooh? I don't even know.
Oh nah, you didn't. I just wanted to hit y'all with this quick story. When I tried to, you know, I'm calling around, right? You know, probably not supposed to say this, but hey, you know, I was trying to get my phone jailbroken, right? So hey, right. Hey, again, my name is Alfred Little.
Yeah.
So I'm calling around trying to get my phone jailbroken. What can you do? Guy, 125. I was like, okay, good. I'm calling around, guy. You know, these are Caucasian guys. You know, 140 phone. I was like, okay, boom, bet. So no, he was 110. Called 3 Caucasian guys. It was 110. Called an African American guy. He was like, hey, 125. I said, cool, bro. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go with you. Get your business up. I'm gonna go with the African American guy. He was like, what kind of phone is it? And I was like, AT&T. Yeah. I take care of you. I take care of you. Got over there, you know, took mine of my wife's phone. Got over there. He was like, oh yeah, I don't know about. Yo, I know what. I'm gonna do it for. I do it for $250. I do it for $250 a phone. I'll do it for $250 a phone, and just give me a deposit right now, $250. I said, bro, you told me earlier, $125 a phone, and then the guy worked there was like, yo, he did call and you did tell him that you was gonna do it for $125. He was like, yeah, that was right before I saw it, and so he thought I had big bread because one of my students was in there and he shot with him all the time. He was like, yo, this is my old teacher, man. Take care of him, man. This is my guy. He helped me out a lot of trouble. Take care of him. So instantly he thought, well, this guy right here, money bags. So he'll pay whatever. Price. Right. So I looked at him and I was like, true. All right. Man, I left. True story, man. Got this Indian guy.
Yeah.
Indian guy jailbroke my phone for $85, man. And the phone, I had a other little phone, you know, that I had got from the new cell phone company. It was a little $40 phone, man. He jailbroke my wife's phone. I gave him that phone. He was like, hey, $85, get you a few accessories, man, on me. You know what I'm saying? So I you know, and that put a sour taste in my mouth about black businesses as well, but not all of them, because I'm not gonna generalize. Because I you know, I got to go buy some dashikis from my guy. He got a shop now, so I got to go check him out to try to support him. But I just don't like a lot of us get greedy like that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of standing by their word, and that's what throw me off, because you got to stand by your word, because you got to be a businessman and you got to grow your people, because I had 4 or 5 other people trying to get their phone jailbroken. But you think who you think I sent them to? The guy that was true to me.
Yeah. But let's not confuse integrity with like race.
That
no,
I'm not.
Indian,
of course.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Because we've had our share of like disappointments and like, you know, dishonesty from, you know, from everybody.
And I don't mess with them.
And I don't mess with them. Yeah, but we're just talking about cable companies. Shit, they the most dishonest people on the planet.
Oh yeah,
and
and I let them go. I go off though. I said, man, this is what y'all teaching y'all people. Yeah. You know, I'm going off the deep end with AT&T. Yeah. That's what y'all teach them. You know, y'all got to honor that. So, but I'm the same way with everybody. If I go to Knicks, man, I went to Knicks. I was like, yo, they messed up my shrimp, man. My shrimp all over the place. My rice all over the place. What you gonna? We'll exchange your shrimp, not your rice. I was like, what? No, he's like, we'll exchange your rice, not your shrimp. I was like, dude, all over together. What you mean? I was like, True. Hey, I said, True, this is my last time coming here. You know, I didn't go back for a year and a half. You know, but I just like people to be true. Yeah, just be true to me, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Integrity, right,
Yeah.
right, integrity, right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of integrity, again, we're gonna jump to something on a little lighter note before we get into the meat of the show. But Keyonne, what's up with your boy Game punching teammates during the Drew League show, the games, man?
Game got the same thing Kanye got, I think. That's what 50 is accused. Like the bipolar, like he go from, and you see him apologizing,
Yeah.
And then he deleted the apology. So he goes to extreme, to other extreme, to other extreme, all within say 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah. No. Al, did you see it?
I did not see it. But when I saw it, I wasn't surprised, even though I didn't see the video.
Yeah.
I definitely had no surprise in me at all.
Yeah, it's that, and Game is a big guy, so like you can call him pussy, but damn, like trying to fight that big dude, man.
Yeah, but then that's my thing. It's like I'm not telling anybody. Like Game was pushing. How was Game? 30, 35 at least.
Something like that, at least.
What the fuck he still fighting for? Like. That's my thing. Like, I ain't gonna call him pussy, but that's stupid. Like, why are you still fighting? Like, you got family and wife and kids. Like,
right.
Unprovoked. Like at a basketball game. Like, it ain't like, somebody jumping on you and you gotta defend yourself. Like, you just fighting.
You know what's funny?
I just think some people just, like, that's just who they are, right? So one of my sisters got a friend who damn near pushing 50. And be not only fighting people in the street, but be physically fighting her children. Like
So,
I just think some people are just crazy.
So let me get us a different perspective. So I just talked about my homeboys. There, when I go home, there is a high probability. I ain't gonna say high probability. There's a chance that you could get swung on, or something could happen. If picture a cookout and a lot of people there. I'm 30 now. I'll be 40 this year. Like shit like that could happen, and in that type of environment. So I could even make the choice to say, I don't want to go over there no more, or I could say, man, I've known these guys my whole life. I just want to hang out. But it's like being in certain. What I'm trying to say, being in certain environments around certain people. So almost like, can I fucking say you're in a jungle? You go into the jungle, you might get bit, kind of thing. But you can't control it. You can't, like, I can think rationally. I can sit here and we can talk about politics, or you can step on someone's shoe and do swing on you.
The Drew League is not that kind of environment, though.
Oh no, I'm not talking
in the Drew
about that. I'm just saying,
like,
40-year-old fighting shit. I mean, and maybe Game is from that. I suspect his upbringing is probably sort of similar. Like he could go into an area where people standing out on the corner, like fighting is probably normal, I guess is what I'm saying to him.
But from what you're saying, you're from an area where fighting is probably normal. You ain't going around fighting, like, so it's you. It ain't like, you get what I'm saying. Like at some point, you got to take responsibility for your own actions. Like I can't just like go walking around and be like, well, sorry, boss, I'm gonna punch you in the face because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
Son.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. What would you say about a football player that's still in the league, getting into fights, or in NBA, like the pushing and shoving, around that? You say about 35. You know what I mean? 35 is still like a veteran. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm not defending Game. Game is kind of.
You mean like
he has
pushing
a history
and
of weird
in the games?
Huh?
You mean like pushing and shoving and fighting in games?
I didn't. Sure. Oh yeah. He's 35 and still fighting, wife and kids.
Same thing, yeah. I would say the same thing. What the fuck you still fighting for? Now it is a bit different in like, in a football game, like it's based on violence. You get what I'm saying? So you're in that week in and week out. That's a mentality that you keep in the heat of battle. But in essentially a pickup basketball league, on a one-off basis, like, why are you fighting your teammate? Like, that's like, even those crazy dudes in the NFL, like, They ain't fighting their own teammates.
Yeah.
Like, this is another level of crazy. Like, I don't know.
I can't defend Game. Yeah, he got a problem. He really has a but this is why he writes like such great music. Like he's crazy. Well, he's probably past his prime now, but this is why he has his body of work. He's crazy.
Yeah. I guess so. I don't know. Pooh, who you fighting this weekend?
Man, I ain't do no fighting, man. I don't even feel. I used to feel comfortable with blows being thrown and kids walking around with pistols. I was cool with it. Mm-hmm. Allen, we sitting in there we got pistols because people kicking in people's doors, so we didn't want to get robbed, so that's what we got, and I was comfortable with it. But dude, I'm like Key now. I'm about to be 40 this year. I don't want to be. Dude, I don't want to be anywhere around a pistol. I don't want to be anywhere around an altercation. I don't want any of that because anything can go awry, and I could be the victim. So I don't, and that's my mindset now.
Do you have friends? And maybe I'm just the only one that. It's to the point now. It ain't even my friend. It's like we got friends hanging around, sons, like dudes is like 20s and teens, and you know how that is. So you got like everybody together like at a cookout, and dudes got guns in their waist. Like this was last time home. This is the type of environment, and it's like so I've known these guys all my. What do you not talk to your friends anymore? Because they're like that's the hard. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I speak, and I converse with these with the gentlemen because I know them as well, but I'm just saying I'm not comfortable, and I don't make it my point to be out there all day.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? I get it how I live, dap them up. Hey, boys, it's been good seeing y'all, and I'm out of there. I'm spending the least amount of time as possible out there, because I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel it's me anymore. I feel I've outgrown that.
Okay. Yeah. Understood.
Yeah, ditto. So, I don't know, but shout out to you, Game. Fight all you want to.
He apologized like right after, and then took the apology back.
Exactly. I don't know. Really? All right.
Great.
Well, at least I ain't pissed off going into a listener question, so this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Game. All right. So, first one is something we kind of touched on through text earlier this week. From Sherry from Fort Lauderdale, our first female listener to send us a question. Shout out to you, Sherry.
Hey.
Yeah. Was Terrell Owens out of line for skipping the Hall of Fame ceremony over this past weekend? Al, what do you think?
I kind of respected it, like if that's how you feel, I have gained a little respect that he held to his guns and didn't show up. I mean, it was obvious he had, beef with media people, and I think, I think they, to the most part, a lot of media is idiots myself, so I kind of get that. But at the same time, I also look at it this way, though. T.O., when he was in the NFL, sometimes was an ass, and sometimes asses, that's how you get dealt with. Even though he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer by talent, he had to wait. I think part of that was because of how he behaved when he was a player, and when you're asked, that's what happens sometimes. But what it really was so consistent of T.O. is he was always an emotional player on and off the field, and this was definitely an emotional decision, so it seems so T.O.-ish, but again, I got a lot of respect for the fact that he said it and then held his guns and did something real different.
Yeah. So, Pooh, what'd you think? T.O., was he out of line, or were you down with what he did?
Man, I'm kind of torn. I like what he did, as in I didn't think he had to be there for the ceremony, for the induction there in Canton. But I just thought that he could have came there and participated in some of the festivities with the team that he was going in with. With the guys that he was going in with, he could have, been a part of some of those things, with those guys. But I didn't think that, like I said, I didn't think he had to be there for induction. That's my take on it. I just thought that he could have did more, like I said, with the people he was going in with.
Okay. All right. Keyonne, what are your thoughts?
Totally, I loved it. I love what he did. I saw the comment he made about his protest was not against the hall, because one of the arguments was, well, dude, the Hall of Fame has nothing to do with the voting. They're just the place where the museum, where the statues are. He said, well, my beef is with the hall for giving the power to the media to do that to me to begin with. You know what I mean? So they can't weasel their way out of it. It's like the University of Georgia hiding behind the NCAA. You know, they're doing it. No, you gave them the power to do it. You know. So anyway, I love what he did. Shout out to him. Not sure it's going to change anything, but I love what he did.
Okay. Well, apparently one thing that may change, and at this point is most likely to change, is that the Hall of Fame is considering making the 25 finalists sign an agreement that if they are inducted, that they have to show up to the ceremony, right? Which is BS to me.
It's gonna be funny how they enforce that. Like.
Exactly. So here's my thing. And yes, I absolutely respect T.O. for what he did. For one, it's the most T.O. thing you could possibly do. Like you said, it was an emotional decision, but it was also rational at the same time. He made perfect sense. But anytime you defy life, they're gonna look at you funny. So but so here's my thing. For one, if they enforce that rule, how can you enforce it after the fact? You know what I'm saying? So are you going to induct them and then they don't show up and you're going to get up on the podium and say, well, like Hines Ward didn't show up, so he's no longer a Hall of Famer. Like, they already made your bust. They already cut your jacket. Like, they're just going to do away with it like it never happened. And I don't get that. Secondly, like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Secondly, which is the bigger issue, the NFL bylaws state that you can't, like, the voters cannot hold something. They have to vote completely on the field, right? Everything you did as a player. The bylaws state that anything you did off the field is not taken into consideration when you're voting for these players to go into the Hall of Fame. Lawrence Taylor's a Hall of Fame, for goodness sakes. So by like banning them from the Hall of Fame for not showing up, you're basically breaking your own bylaws. So at what point does that stop? Like, this is, at this point, I just hope they just need to hope that the T.O. thing, for their sake, the T.O. thing was a one-off and they go on about their business.
So can we predict another one? Like, who's someone that the media doesn't like that's having a hell of a career?
Wow.
I can't think of nobody on the top of my head.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
Marshawn
this probably ain't
Lynch,
gonna be
maybe.
Marshawn. No, I think he seemed to be light. He's light.
I was like,
what you mean?
Maybe his not that he has the issue. The media has an issue with him, but that he would same way. He would just do it just to be Marshawn.
Oh, yeah, he would do something off the because he was sitting down for he sat down for the anthem.
Yeah, the whole
I'm sure you know that.
Get fined. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was
the last few games, he was sitting down. He wasn't kneeling.
Yeah, he was sitting down eating sunflower seeds. Like, he didn't give a shit. But he'd be the only one that I would think, not for the same reasons as T.O., but, same thing. I'm just here so I won't get fined, boss. Just do some Marshawn shit. Either him, maybe, and not sure if these guys are Hall of Famers, but Michael Bennett, Martellus Bennett, maybe. But again, not that the media doesn't like them, but for their own purposes. I don't know.
I can't think of T.O. had a hostile relationship with. So I think in their favor, or however you want to say it, there's nobody. I can't think of anybody on the horizon that has a hostile relationship. Like, Marshawn's kind of lovable. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why. Like, I like him, but he.
Yeah.
Like, how can you hate Kaepernick, but Marshawn seems to be likable. Like, he has commercials and stuff, you know what I mean? But maybe he's not as articulate. Like, it's more dangerous. Colin Kaepernick is more thought out or something.
Absolutely, yeah, he's more calculated, and Marshawn doesn't have a stance. He just he never voiced it if he does. So he's harmless to them. Like, he's just the dude. To them, he's just the clown that sits on the sidelines. He doesn't have an agenda. So I don't know. But yeah, you're right. I can't think of anybody that's like definitely has like this. Yeah. I don't know. But so our second question. This is from Tyreek from Virginia Beach, right? This is a really well thought out question. It was like
the second question.
Yeah. So
now, and I'm still trying to think of somebody. It got to be somebody in the league.
The only people I know are the Bennett's, man. I mean, the Bennett's and Marshawn would come, but I don't think he'll do a speech. I don't think he'll do a speech.
What you think about Richard Sherman?
That would be interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Amount of people in it, so you just kind of fall through the cracks, kind of thing. Now, this was directed at him. Point though, you and Pooh, both of y'all. Now that you say that, I can't remember him being volatile to the media. I think you're right. I think he was just kind of disruptive to the teams he was on, kind of thing.
And that's what they said, but like and I know y'all don't really like Stephen A. Well, Yuki, but I got to toot Stephen A. on this. It's like they said that he was ripping the team apart, and this is that and the third, but there's no real evidence of it. Like in Philly, half the team like McNabb, and the other half supported T.O.
Now, Pooh, stop right there.
That's tearing it apart right there, though.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of, but the player gonna go, the players gonna go with the players who they support. I mean, period, though. I mean, if he's saying, yo, McNabb, you're not doing you X, Y, Z, get yourself together. You're not being a man out there. I mean, he can't say that.
Well, I'm not like defending or taking away from him. I'm just saying
right. No,
what they were saying. I said what the people were saying. Like that, the people were saying, he was disruptive to the team, and like I said, he called Garcia gay. He talked bad about McNabb.
Push-ups in a media session in his driveway.
But the media loved him though, Jay. The media didn't. They didn't dog him. They loved T.O.
Yeah, I get you, and I ain't dissing T.O. Like I was a T.O. fan. I love T.O. Because he was consistent. He was always T.O.
He was always T.O.
To me, huh?
But he was always that. You know what I'm saying? And he always spoke to, like, here's my thing. The media always want access to real
exactly,
stuff.
Yeah.
But then when they get the real stuff from players, then so it's like you can't win. And I kind of agree with you, Pooh, because like the fact that team was divided doesn't mean that T.O. was dividing them, because there were a lot of people by a lot of accounts that said that Donovan McNabb was not a real leader, and that's why they backed T.O.
Right.
In that situation. T.O. just spoke what was on his mind. And he said a lot of things that most people thought. So I don't think he was necessarily divisive in that sense. He was just on one side.
I always felt that he overcompensated, and that whole we crying for Romo, that's my quarterback.
That was fake.
I always felt that he was trying to make up for San Francisco and Philly, show how much
Yeah, how good of a teammate I am now.
Yeah,
but I just don't see where they're saying that this volatile relationship with the media comes from, because I've never seen him be volatile with the media. I've always seen him give them what they wanted. They wanted a sound bite, they wanted the show, and he always produced. He always gave it to them. So I don't see where it came. I don't even see where this notion comes from though. Where's it coming from?
I think you're right. Now that this area I think it was just the off the field, because you're right. Because I think I can remember back, was it Deion Sanders? This is baseball though, but he sprayed I forgot what the white guy's name, but he sprayed champagne in the guy. Oh, Jake went out again, but
Tim McCarver, yeah.
McCarver. I remember and when he did that, the media, the media's a gang. You got the Bloods, the Crips, and the media. Like when he did that, they kind of rallied around. They went against Dion. You know what I mean? But it was, I guess, early enough in his career, and baseball wasn't his thing anyway. That he was able to, he had like a Hall of Fame career after that, so he was able to recover. But I don't remember. I guess what I'm saying, I'm agreeing with Pooh. I don't remember T.O. actually doing anything to like talking bad about anybody or.
Yeah, I mean, he was just T.O. Like he didn't he didn't change. He didn't give the media cookie cutter answer a lot of times. And when he wasn't happy with the media or anyone else, he voiced it. But a lot of people don't appreciate that. But I always, because he remained who he was.
So what is it, Jay? Why did they? What was the? In your opinion, what's the hard feelings? Like what is it?
Because for one, T.O.'s arrogant as hell. They don't like that. So it wasn't necessarily a direct thing at the media, but a lot of things is perception. And we always talk about this, especially around draft time. Somebody says something, and then everybody, somebody else says it, and then somebody else says it, and it's the truth. And nobody really ever, takes time to figure out, is that really true? It's just a lot of people said it, so it must be true. And what did it say? Pooh, when the legend becomes the myth, when the myth becomes a legend, you print the legend, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's true or not, once that perception starts to snowball and everybody starts believing it without actual evidence, it's gonna become the truth, and that's becomes your legend. So at this point, T.O. is, it's that perception that he never bowed down to the media and gave them what they claimed. He gave them what they thought they wanted. But then when they got it, they didn't want that. But at the end of the day, they couldn't keep him out of the Hall forever.
Nah, they couldn't. No way.
They couldn't, and I think, he's absolutely right. At the end, a lot of these dudes in the media, they hold that power, and that's all they have. And shame on them for holding that and wielding that power over him. And because by all accounts, you take T.O. and Randy Moss, who are second and third or third and second, however you want to look at it, receivers of all time, by a lot of accounts. Even if not, they're both top 5 locks. So Randy Moss gets in on his first attempt. Because Keyonne, you said this before, because now he's a media member himself. He's kind of bought himself some grace.
Yeah.
And, T.O.'s not gone that route, so he hadn't earned that, that benefit of the doubt and the good graces of the media. So shame on them for holding that over his head. That man is one of the top 5 receivers of all time. There's no way you can put him in the same class of dudes who had to wait 3 years, but he's in now. So,
hey, one question about Randy. If he never goes to New England, do you think that he could have turned his career around as a media darling? Because when he went to Oakland, they really hated Randy, with the anthem and the moon and then green, they really hated him. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like when he went to New England, he kind of shifted, and I guess making those plays again because he was with a decent, a very, very good quarterback, with someone that can get him the ball. But without that, do you think he gets in first ballot?
Well, without that, you
and puts up the numbers though.
Without that
no,
that one year.
I'm saying, get the numbers, but not in that on that platform. With that team with Tom and Belichick, but he still puts up adequate numbers to get in the Hall. But do you think he still gets in?
But Pooh, let me say this one thing,
because it changed the perception of the media.
That was a hell of a year. I think that would probably be an all-time year. Am I right? For
dude, that
receivers?
was stupid. 23. Tell you about the record.
Yeah,
he should have been Offensive Player of the Year, if not league MVP. But Tom Brady threw for 50 touchdowns, so he had to be Offensive Player of the Year. But he won nothing. He didn't even win Offensive Player of the Year. That was crazy to me.
Erase that year or keep those stats on the Vikings?
No, I'm saying I'm saying keep those stats.
Okay.
However, just not doing it with Brady and on that team with with New England, but because it seems like going there changed his media perception. I don't know if it's because with those guys or with but winning and doing well heals all wounds. But with that being said, T.O. did that.
Yeah, he did that in Philly.
Yeah.
So I
think Randy the person changed too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Moss is a serious maturation of a man from who he was in his young 20s to who he is by the time he finishes the game. And I think what he's done since being in the NFL has played a big part of it. And I think joining the media was key. I mean, I think if you join the media, it gives you an opportunity to win over the media and public. And you look at an A-Rod on baseball, and he's done it. He's went from being the most hated guy when he retired to now people are recognizing that, what, damn, why was we hating this dude? He's not that bad of a dude. Yeah, he's an asshole, but he's not about baseball.
I'm that guy too. I didn't like him until I saw him on that show with the basketball player. I'm like, man, he's pretty cool. I didn't thought he was an asshole. But to Randy Moss though, I had to ask this question: did he change or did he change his perception?
Well,
like on some George Foreman shit. Like George became a nice guy.
I wouldn't say it's for George Foreman. I think more to me I can't say I watch Randy all the time, but just from what I perceive, I just perceive it as it's him. I mean, of course, on TV media, it's gonna be some, fakey fake stuff. I'm sure, trying to brand and I get some of that. You're not totally who you are off camera. I get that, but I really just see a dude that's just growing up.
Yeah,
okay.
and I think it also goes to, you look at early in their careers when you compare T.O. and Randy Moss, they both were young receivers playing behind or next to two of the greatest receivers in the history of the league.
Oh yeah, Jerry Rice
and Chris Carter, right?
Yeah,
I think that kind of speaks to what most people already know. Is Chris Carter was a hell of a leader. He got in people's faces, and he kind of pushed Randy early in his career. And it's also widely known that Jerry Rice is an asshole, and he doesn't care about leading anybody. He's all about Jerry and winning. And T.O. never got that, especially, you look at everything else is pretty much similar. They both freak athletes, T.O. and Randy. Smaller schools, they're from the South. They went to small colleges, got in a lot of trouble, didn't live up to their early in their college careers, didn't live up to that physical freakness, and kind of came out of nowhere when they got into the league. And landing where they landed, I think Chris Carter had a huge influence on Randy Moss, and not only Chris Carter, but like that the whole program he was in. Denny Green was there, Brian Billick was there, Jake Reed was there,
Jake Reed, Robert
Smith. There's a lot of leaders on that team. Corey Stringer, John Randall, just that whole team. T.O. kind of came into a situation in San Francisco where it was...
You got a gay quarterback. I'm
being...
Nah,
that kid was...
but you look at, people like Steve Mariucci, but he's never been known as a leader of men. Jerry Rice is not the greatest leader we've seen. We joke about Jeff Garcia. He wasn't a great leader. So T.O. was just out there trying to make it, and he did.
And I think he pissed interview recently because it was this whole Hall of Fame. He had never heard of Jerry Rice until I think he said his last year of college or something like that. Because he's from a small town, not no TV or nothing. Yeah. He didn't watch football, so I'm sure that probably made Jerry Rice very warm and fuzzy to hear a guy like, who are you?
Yeah. And T.O. wasn't a football. T.O. was a basketball player in high school, so he wasn't a football fan. Yeah, T.O. was a basketball player, and he ended up excelling at football, so he didn't watch football. But I don't know, man. Again, hell of a question, Sherry.
Yeah. You see, it got us going. I forgot.
Yeah.
100 different directions.
Yeah, but it's always a sign of a good question. You get us going, and we forgot you back there, Sherry. Shout out to you. But yeah, again. So next question, Tyreek from Virginia Beach. Like, this is a crazy question to me when I saw it, but the more I looked at it, I was like, this is very well thought out, right? So, Keyonne, if you were a 6-foot alien and landed on Earth, which team sport would be the easiest for you to excel at? So the whole 6-foot thing, like, to me, that was the genius part of this question, right? Because if you're a 7'2" alien, of course we know what you can excel at, right?
That's it.
Yeah. If you 6'5", 350, we could probably put you on a football field. But the fact that you're a 6-foot alien, right? Which kind of evens things out across the board. What would be the team sport that you probably excel at? Would be the easiest to excel at?
I hate this question, bro. Cause it leads me to okay. How much does he weigh? How fast does he run? What's his body built?
That's the whole point. Is like the
this
everyday
6
man.
feet tall.
You 6 feet tall. So if you 6 feet, say you 6 feet 320, you still probably it's gonna be hard for you to play football. Even if you're big.
I need some more stats than just tight.
That's the whole thing. You 6 feet. So basically saying like the average size, everyday man. What would be the easiest sport for you to excel at?
You could play all of them. You could box. You could do that. 6 feet tall. I guess that's team sport. Fucking basketball, point guard. I mean, okay. I need some more stats, man.
The hardest position.
Yeah,
you said,
that would be the.
Well, 6 foot. There's a lot of 6-foot point guards that excel. I mean,
yeah, but if you're an alien, that also says that you aren't familiar with any of this stuff, right?
Well,
So
you ain't gonna be good at any sport if you don't know what the hell you're doing.
So which would be the Al? Do you understand what I'm saying? Al, I'm asking you the question. Al, which would be the easiest? This guy wants to be difficult.
So to me,
yeah.
Right. I thought it was a fascinating question as well.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
And initially I was just like, kind of like Keyonne until I actually thought, like, what would it be like to be an alien who, till now, you know nothing of any of the sports. You haven't been exposed to any of the sports. You don't know the rules, right? So to me, I thought soccer. Because it's a simple concept where you just kicking this ball. It's your team, the guys in this color shirt against the guys and gals in that color shirt, and your job is to take this ball using anything but your hands, and you're trying to get it into that net down there. And then you think about how easy it is to learn is because you don't have to worry about some of the complicated rules of football. Like, so football, damn, do I gotta teach this alien the catch rule? That's gonna take a year to help him understand the catch rule. I don't even understand the damn catch rule. The 3-second rule in basketball, like, just that ain't that difficult, but just to have to remind somebody, 3 seconds, in and out, get out the paint, get out this, 3 seconds, 1, 2, you don't even know what a second is. I got to teach you 3 seconds.
Now, to me, the simplest sport is baseball.
Yeah,
that's basic as hell.
But it's not easy to be good at it. Like, so what you going to teach an alien to hit 100 miles per hour fastball and 85 mile per hour changeup and a 93 mile per hour slider?
Makes it tough.
I don't know about that. And then help him understand the different positions, the rules, why you should cover or back people up. Designated hitter, just all of that. Yeah, I'm going with soccer.
Okay.
All right. Pooh, Keyonne, we'll round back around to you.
Nah, you don't have to. I'm good.
Pooh, with you 6-foot alien, what sport are you taking up, and what are you gonna excel at?
I'm gonna go with rugby.
Oh,
okay.
I'll definitely select rugby because I don't even know all the rules of rugby, but I feel like somebody toss me the ball, I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
So So they toss me the ball. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run to that post right there. Okay. You know, so I'm gonna go with rugby.
All right, that's a good one. All right, yeah. You stepping out on this one?
I'm step out on this one. I need more stats. How fast is this?
Sorry, we don't have a 40 time in a vertical for your alien.
How many legs does he have? I mean, you didn't give me nothing. Your alien got 12 legs. He's 6 feet tall. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well, that would be soccer then, I guess. Well, 3 of the 4 of us think that was a hell of a question, Tyreek. This other guy, he's flipping you off right now.
He
got more questions. Key's that numbers guy, man.
Yeah, everything's a formula. He got to have the entire formula.
I need more information.
So I give it.
Really? All right. Well, maybe this our first, show topic can be easier for you. We talked about this, teased this for a couple weeks. Keyonne, you got your all self-made NBA team now. Dre, one of our listeners, actually shouted out a question, 2 questions in a row, actually, 2 weeks in a row. His first question was, who would be on your all-time NBA DNA team? Which went through those. So guys, obviously those are guys who were just blessed naturally and won the gene lottery, and some of the greatest athletes we've ever seen in the NBA. So we decided to, as we talked about it, decided that a self-made team might be kind of interesting. So, Keyonne, you got a self-made team for me?
Yeah, I did this on the fly just now while you talking. I got Tim Duncan at center.
Okay.
I got Larry Bird, power forward. I got, Pooh gonna hate this, but Michael Jordan at shooting guard. Okay. And I got Magic Johnson at point. The small forward position is giving me a little trouble though, because those are all athletes in my mind. I don't know anybody that worked their way in, and I'm talking slow as I'm thinking. I can't think of anybody that worked their way into, like, you just grind, maybe like a Richard Jefferson or something like that. I'll go with him. Okay. Richard Jefferson, like off the top of my head.
All right. Keyonne? Pooh, you got a all self-made team?
At point, I'm gonna go Steph Curry.
Okay.
At the 2, I'll definitely go MJ.
Okay. Thought you would disagree with that.
Nah.
So MJ's on your all DNA team and your
total contradiction.
Yeah. MJ's everywhere.
I said that
before.
Put an
all
y'all
Frosted Flakes team together, and you'll have MJ on it. Right?
Hey, and y'all totally ragged me about it. He don't. So I understood the parallel where y'all was coming from. I threw him on this one.
An all 6-foot alien team. We're gonna put MJ
nah.
Okay.
Nah. You guys know I'm very, very receptive, and if I can rationalize with the point, I could go with it, But if I can't rationalize with it, then no. Okay, so MJ at the 2, at the 3, I'll go back to the 3. All right, 4 at the 4, man, I can't use that guy. Man, I'm drawing a blank right there. I'm drawing a blank every other place, but right now, I just have. Go ahead and go to Al. I just have Mike and and Steph. Yeah.
Mike and Steph.
All right, Al, who you got for me?
So I kind of I got 2 lists because I interpreted self-made differently because I've kind of forgot the history of why we came up with this question.
Okay.
So I looked at self-made more as somebody who wasn't a highly touted draft pick, somebody who kind of had to work hard to build a career type thing. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
So my list, that list was Avery Johnson,
Okay.
John Starks,
Yeah.
Bruce Bowen, Haslam, and Ben Wallace.
Yeah. That's yeah.
That's, and I was
Damn,
trying
6'6"
to come up with
center.
some out of shape people, like
Definitely.
Sabonis.
Oh yeah.
As a center.
Definitely
Ben
Ben Wallace.
I mean, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace. Not that he was out of shape, but he wasn't the most athletic.
Nah, I disagree with that one.
Oh, when he was younger, like
yeah.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, I still wouldn't put him as an athletic freak though. But he was more athletic than I'm giving him credit for.
He was so skillful though. He had all the skills.
I disagree with that one. But okay, everything else I'm like, hell yeah, except for the Rasheed Wallace thing. But okay.
Well, yeah,
you ain't gotta agree with me. I'm just saying.
Okay. I won't.
So how did your second list change? How did it change?
Yeah, it pretty much stopped at Sabonis and Rasheed Wallace.
Okay.
Because I wasn't trying to, I was trying to come up with guys that hadn't been mentioned. That's where it stopped.
If you think about it, you could just take all them European players. Because none of them athletic.
But Arvydas Sabonis though.
Yeah, Arvydas was Sabonis. Dirk. I mean, a 7-footer who can shoot like that. Like that's pretty. Like,
but
they say he was a freak though.
Shooting
he just tore his ACLs up.
Who that? Dirk?
Yeah, Sabonis.
No, Sabonis. Like he tore his ACLs. Both of them joints he had. He tore his Achilles twice. He was a freak before those injuries. We just didn't see him. We just didn't see him in that way.
I never saw him. Like,
we didn't see him in that way.
Sabonis was there. Like, Sabonis was
he
like
was a slow walk soul.
Yeah, he was like, but they say he was so skilled. Like, I ain't gonna say KD,
shit.
but like
You
that.
get ready to start with the 15-foot vertical again.
Nah.
Here we go. Here we go.
But
how skilled was he?
Nah, his thing is like his thing is like the skill. I mean, the legend with the myth, because they're saying that like no one over there has been as good as him, but he just never came over. Like they've never seen anything like that over there. Yeah,
but
that's what they say.
He broken both feet and tore his Achilles. Like he, which is why he was like a statue when he came.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, but even then he was like, but even then you can see his skill. Yeah, exactly.
Very skilled.
But that's what I'm saying. Skill ain't something like that's like a DNA team got no skill. He just jumping over people, running fast people. But like self-made is like technical. That's my interpretation. Like
but that's what I'm saying. But like I'm saying, like for Dirk, like a 7-footer to move, like Dirk can run. What it could. I mean, when he was younger, like Dirk could move, and play on the perimeter. Like he wasn't just like a spot up shooter. Dirk could play at 7 feet tall. Dirk was like Porzingis when he was younger.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He's an exception to the Europeans, but I'm thinking like Tony Kukoc, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who we could get?
Tony Kukoc.
Al, I'm surprised you didn't throw Mark Jackson on the list.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers too.
Doc Rivers, Pooh. I'm surprised you ain't put Dennis Rodman on the list.
Oh, that's he'd be first.
Yeah. Dennis, I just couldn't think because I just couldn't think at the
that whole
moment.
Bad Boys team could be on the list.
And that's true.
Isaiah?
I mean, not
I'm talking about like Dumars,
yeah.
What's
Lane
the
Beer,
white guy? Lambeer, definitely.
That
Mark
whole
McGuire,
John Sally, like that
John
whole,
Sally, yeah.
Like, well, not John Sally. He was a good athlete. He was just raw.
Vinny Johnson.
Like, Vinny Johnson, like most of that team could be Buddha Edwards. The whole damn team was just like a bunch of like roughnecks who just learned how to play.
Do we see that in the league? This we get into my argument, Jay. Why I said the league was better then than now. It seems like now the guys rely more on athleticism. Can you think of anybody in the league now, a star player that is that like just straight up grind? Like maybe Draymond, maybe Draymond.
Yeah, But I
Am
like,
I wrong?
but I think it's like it's a byproduct. You know, like these guys didn't I don't think you could just drop them in the league and expect them to, you know, drop them in 1987 and say, hey, go play, because they weren't brought up with that mentality. Same way, I don't think you could like just drop Rick Mahorn in 2018 and say, hey, go play. Rick Mahorn wouldn't last a day in the league now because he wasn't brought up playing like this. You know
I disagree. No, I disagree. I think you could. I don't want to get into this, but I feel like you could take players from now and put them back then, and they could kill it, like at the Durants and like, because shooting, it travels, but I don't think it works the other way around. That hard, that grind out.
No, you saying a player that could grind like that, like yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but ask Kevin Durant to be Dennis Rodman. I don't think he could do it if you just dropped him in 1989.
No.
Yeah.
He can't do it in 2018.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he wasn't brought up like that. But yeah, would he dominate if you just dropped him? Yeah, he'd still find a way to dominate. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
But I don't think like today's NBA doesn't have a place for Rick Mahorn.
Got it.
Nah, he's sitting on the bench somewhere.
Yeah.
In the league.
Yeah.
He would have to change. I mean, I think there are players. You see some players like that in the league who all they do is, rebound or maybe
Tristan
play
Thompson, maybe.
Right, but they got to get better at something else.
Yeah.
Or they don't stay in the league.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And even Tristan can like switch off and guard smaller players. Rick Mahorn couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like at least Tristan, like they like switch on a pick and roll. Rick Mahorn could not guard the pick and roll if Steph and KD running the pick and roll. There's no way.
But you look at the Tristan Thompson, he's probably been guarding young people all his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I look at how young players are learning the game now.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, most guys Tristan size now, when they were 12, probably wanted to be a guard or have his hand. You know what I mean? Like that's just how kids are.
Yeah.
It damn near bring tears in my eyes watching him play defense. Man, Tristan Thompson, where he gets low and slides with it, like you can't run around him. I love to watch a big man play defense like that. You just don't see it, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
And even when you think of like guys who got caught up in that transition of how the league was and how it is now, you look at Big Baby Davis. When that transition happened, he was out of the league in 2 years.
Big three, he become.
Yeah, like just there's no place for you now.
Yeah. Dwight Howard hasn't aged well. He kind of went. Yeah.
Damn.
So, his game just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Damn, Tristan Thompson.
One of the most. That's just amazing to watch him slide. The way he slides. Yeah. You say that now, but he was better than damn. Who the best center ever to play? Wilt Chamberlain. When we argue about LeBron, how good he was on LeBron scene. Now it's damn Tristan Thompson. All NBA caliber. He ain't worth a damn. But I get it.
Wow. That's crazy. Oh man. On some NFL talk. Do y'all? Gerald's not here. Y'all want to talk about Cam Newton and Kelvin Benjamin and the Panthers?
I don't. I mean, I think Christian McCaffrey gonna have a well of a year. I mean, dude. Wait. I just want to talk about this. Do you think he'd be able to handle, let's say, 210, 220 carries? You think Christian can handle that in the league, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Or whoever else? Or more like 180, a 180 guy?
Yeah, I think he's. I mean, right around 200. I don't think.
Right around 2.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, you got to get him a lot of touches. So whether
you got to get that
out of the backfield, however that is, I think he can still get those same touches without all being carries.
Right. Cause he has 68 I think like 68 receptions last year.
Yeah.
So they're and I think he only had maybe 100 carries, 98 carries, something around that area. So they're talking about, I mean, giving him, 14 carries a game, and that's going to come somewhere around, I guess 200.
Yeah.
I
don't know. be honest, I give a shit about Carolina and Christian McCaffrey, just because I don't care.
Right, but I'm a fantasy guy, so
yeah, that's what I'm about to say. That's like fantasy numbers. I don't really.
Yeah, that's fantasy numbers. Yeah,
like that's you and Gerald's discussion. Y'all can talk circles around me on that.
That's my Luke guy though. That's my Luke guy.
Oh, okay.
Remember Luke?
Yeah, that's why. The only reason I brought up Kelvin and Kelvin Benjamin talking shit about Cam is because I thought Gerald was gonna be on.
Oh, nah. Yeah. We ain't gonna touch that.
Okay.
Gerald's on.
Oh, shit. There you go.
What's up, man?
Happy birthday, kid. There you go.
What timing.
There you go. Jumped in.
Just when you start talking
right
about
it. I think they might be talking about Kelvin and Cam. You jump in.
Hey, yo, y'all won't believe this. This kid gave me a whole spiel about what he gonna say when we bring this up.
I love to hear it. I can't wait.
Shoot.
Yeah, this is gonna be a one-person segment. Gerald,
what's going on, fellas?
What's up,
man?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, sir.
Oh, man, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks a lot.
No doubt. Were you out wrestling Andrew the Giant tonight?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I got him again.
Well, I hope you didn't forge your dad's signature this time, and you can keep the belt. Yeah, man. So we'll this will be your segment. So again, outside of you, nobody here was really affected by Kelvin Benjamin saying Cam was holding him back. What do you think about Fat Kelvin saying that Cam and the Panthers were holding him back and he shouldn't have been drafted by him, and he's glad he's out of there? What do you think about that?
I mean, well, first, I would like to say, I'd like to touch on Pooh's point or his question a little bit. There's no way that McCaffrey gets 220 carries. I'm not even. We're right now just trying to figure out if he's kind of gonna be the lead back. We did bring in C.J. Anderson, and he's kind of splitting carries with McCaffrey at this point, but he's still going to be used a lot in the offense. Like last year, he didn't have 60 or he had 80 receptions last year and almost 120 carries. So if he can, honestly, I would like to see him stay around 120 carries, but he's got to be a little more effective. He only came in at like 3.6 yards a carry on average. So he's got to be, I think, somewhere around the 70 to 80 reception mark, 120 yards, 120 carries, still has the ball in his hands a lot. But he's got to find a way to eke out another yard or another half a yard out of those 120 carries. And I think he'll be even more of an option and more explosive.
Cool. Okay. All right. So back to Fat Kelvin. Think about what he had to say about your quarterback.
So, Kelvin Benjamin, man, like, I only mentioned it as a topic for the show just because it was such a hot topic for the sports world yesterday. I saw everybody commenting on this story, so I just figured, what the hell, we'll just we'll comment on it too, if we could. So, but man, I was never really high on Kelvin Benjamin. And I realized that he said that, he wasn't a good fit here, and I agree. I don't agree, and he made some remarks about saying that, if he had an accurate quarterback a la Aaron Rodgers, or I think he said Aaron Rodgers, maybe Drew Brees or some, and then he said Eli Manning, which struck me as odd, and he named a couple other guys, and then he said, or like a quarterback that knows the game or understands the game or something along those lines, So I've been, I've watched Cam live. I've watched him on over and over on film. Like his understanding of the game is incredible. To me, like he often gets the offense in and out of the right plays that weren't called, like audible. Like you can't question his knowledge of the game. I think the one of his great plays was like, "Oh, you seen this play on film, huh? Well, watch this." And then we kind of, I think that was so. As far as I think we were 18-3 as a whole without Kelvin Benjamin. In fact, the year that we had the year we were forced to play without Kelvin, Cam had an MVP season, not even a caliber season. He was actually MVP. So I don't. Yeah, and went to the Super Bowl. So I don't with Jericho Cotchery and Ted Ginn Jr. So I don't buy into this notion that I actually buy more into. I try to tell all my fans, Carolina fans here, that if you impress with what this kid does, wait until he actually has weapons. Like, he's been doing this basically with Greg Olsen and a guy here or there. He got to play a year with Steve Smith, so Cam's success has really been without a lot of what I would call marquee guys around him. So he's 6'5", 6'6", so he does have some tendencies to throw high, and people have talked about his accuracy issues. But for Kelvin Benjamin, he doesn't have a go hard love of hunger to dominate and be the best at his position. He's a year removed from showing up at camp bigger than Julius Peppers. He's like Buffalo. I think he's on his 5th year of that rookie deal, and Buffalo refuses to extend him without actually proving that he doesn't suck. So to me, I think he went to when he left here. I think he had 30 catches. And when he got traded, and then when he went to Buffalo, I don't know how many weeks he played, maybe 4 or 5, but I think he had like 8 more catches. So it's not like, Kelvin just needs to work on improving his game. Now he's gone, and Cam did a lot of defending of Kelvin when he was here, and I mean, that was his guy. He spent 2 years forcing almost every ball, double, triple coverage too. He just didn't make the play. So I'll get off my soapbox, but I spent no, I'm not.
Okay.
I spent 2 years highly critical of Cam, because no matter what scheme we were running, no matter what the route trees we were running, what the coverage dictated, he was trying to get that ball into 13. Yeah. Everyone could see it. And so, yeah, I don't buy into that. He had the opportunities, he had the targets, they were there. He just, 60 catches his first year, then like 40 after he came back from the injury, and 50, and now 50 after he came back from the injury, and I think he had like a total of 40 catches. So he's a receiver that's actually on the decline, and he needs to just focus on playing his game.
Yeah. And that was I had 2 thoughts when I first saw this. One is, if you thought it was like you weren't putting up big numbers with Cam as your quarterback, how the fuck you think things gonna go with AJ McCarron as your quarterback? You really about to find out how it feels to be held back now in Buffalo weather.
And cold.
Yeah. And secondly, and I always say this is like my worst. This is my least favorite character trait, right? You don't get to show up at camp at 285 and then blame somebody else for you not doing well. Like, if you're going to start blaming people, at least make sure you got all your own bases covered first. So, if Cam overthrew you, who's to say you wasn't going to get there if you was 40 pounds lighter? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he wouldn't have overthrown Ted Ginn. He might not have overthrown Devin Funches, because they can actually get to the ball. You don't get to show up to camp like looking like an offensive lineman and then blame folks for you not producing. That ain't how this shit works. So I'm not even a Panther fan, but good riddance, Kelvin Benjamin. Hope things work out.
Good riddance.
Yeah, go do Buffalo Bills things. You God. So I
agree.
All right. So Al posed these questions through text this weekend, and I walked in on a conversation this weekend, and I'm guessing this is where it stems from, Al?
This is exactly where it comes from.
Okay. All right, I walked in on the conversation. I dipped my toe in, and I realized who I was talking to, and I got the hell out of that conversation. But intriguing, to say the least. Definitely intriguing now with you guys. So, Al, you asked the question first of all. Who's the best pure safety you ever saw? So you did add the nugget that can't be a conversion guy. So no Ronnie Lott, cornerback to safety. No Rod Woodson, cornerback early in his career, safety later. Who's the best pure safety you've ever seen play? Al, you asked a question. I'll let you answer first.
And let me say, without that caveat, Ronnie Lott, who to me is my best defensive back I've ever seen.
What? Defensive back? You smell like Dion?
Whatever.
Wow.
That's just me. The best defensive back I've ever seen is Ronnie Lott. I'll take him over everybody I've ever seen, right? But for safety, I had to really flip the cards because it's had some good ones, pure safeties. But I'm going with Ken Houston. And for those who don't know of Ken or have seen Ken, to me he was like Ed Reed before Ed Reed, but was Ed Reed and then some, and played with the Oilers, which is now the Titans, then switched over to Washington and Redskins. But dude had like 50 interceptions, ran back kicks, punt returns, was a hitter, and made it to 12 Pro Bowls. I looked that up tonight too. So that's what I'm going with, Ken Houston.
That's a good one. Okay. All right. Tom Stevens, who's the best safety you've ever seen?
Best. Of course, I wanted to go with Mike Brown.
Man, go ahead. And no shout at Mike. No dig at Mike. Mike was very good, but no.
but
you decided
I'm not.
To go with Adam. Was
Vinatieri. Not Vinatieri. Archuleta. Adam Archuleta.
That's where you going.
That kid lasted 6 games with us. Yeah. But man, I wish I could have got. Man, I wish I could have got more out of Sean Taylor. I wish I could have got more out of that kid, man, because like that season, man, he was playing at a level like even better than what Ed. I think he was playing better than what Ed Reed had ever played at. He was just, remember, he had like 7 interceptions in like 3 games, and he was just everywhere. But I guess with that being said, man, since I didn't get a longevity out of him, I probably would say Ed Reed.
You know what's crazy? I just saw it this week. Like he had, when they cut him, when they did his autopsy, he had the brain of like a 70-year-old man, like with all the concussions. That's totally random, but it's just with Sean Taylor. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So football's not a healthy sport for your brain.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. Wow, that kid was like 25, isn't it? 26.
Yeah, it was born 83. So yeah, it was 24. Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah. Keyonne, what about you? Who's your favorite? Who's the best safety?
I'm not really fair to ask this because I never really watched the safety. So when does Troy Polamalu count?
Absolutely. Yeah. He absolutely counts.
Yeah. So that would be my. But it does a disservice to all these other guys I'm looking. Because I pull up a list right now. I'm seeing guys that Alex, Ken Houston. I'm seeing Steve Atwater. I don't even remember. I remember Steve Atwater in a video game, but not really watching him. But as far as me watching, Troy Polamalu. Okay, he knew the plays before the ball was snapped. Like he just fucked the whole play up. It was just, and as a Falcon fan, I remember when Vic, no one knew what to do with him. The Steelers just made Troy Polamalu just follow Vic. He really shut Vic down. Mm-hmm. Like at that time, I've never seen anybody could do that, like shut Vic down, but he did it, and that's what his job. Don't guard nobody else, just follow him. But that type of show that he studied the game because he knew what the plays was going to be. Like, you remember, he would like jump over the line before the ball got snapped, like hit the quarterback, like just stuff that you do in Little League, he's doing in the NFL and just showing out. So that would be mine.
Yeah, stuff you did in Madden, people say you cheating.
Yeah, and he's doing it in a real game, a real NFL game.
Exactly.
That big crazy hair.
Yeah. Gerald, what about you?
I'm gonna have to go with Troy. Troy is definitely up there for me in safeties that I've ever seen. But I think I'm gonna go a different route, man, and go with. I don't know if this guy was converted or not, so you guys correct me. But man, B. Dawkins, man.
Nah, he's true.
Man, I remember when Madden came out and he had like the very first speech on Madden. He was like, "Man, you feel that thing right there? You feel that thing right there beating in your chest?" Like, I mean, like he had me. Yeah, he had me turn right to hit the person I was playing. Like, man, and then he was just Mr. Everything with what you could. What you needed in a safety, man, and he anchored that Philly D for years. I think he just made him into the Hall, actually. Like, man, Brian Dawkins, man. Like, I would have to say, him and Palomalu, they're definitely up there for me. Best safeties I've ever seen.
Did you mention he was a Clemson guy?
That's
why he talked like that. They ain't right there. Hey, what y'all think of Cam Chancellor? I think he done in the league too. What you think of him? Like all time, like
he's just been so. He was very, very good, but to me, he's in Earl Thomas' shadow. I forgot to even mention him, man, because it's like, dude, you can't watch a Seattle game and not say something about Earl. Earl Thomas was amazing. He's flat out amazing, and it's probably I think it's an injustice that they won't pay the guy, but
I understand it.
But I understand it. But I mean, he's a fool. He's a beast, man. Thomas a beast.
The NFL should do more. But the NBA does it more. Where you pay somebody based on what they've done, not necessarily what they're going to do. Like like a great player, you just go ahead and pay them. But the NFL doesn't do that.
Well, NFL can't do that though. Like, there's a hard salary. No, I mean, because there's a hard salary. Like, you always forget about the salary cap, right?
That's bullshit, man. They could pay. They could give a guy a guarantee for a year or two.
Yeah, but
and then just cut him.
But then it still counts against your salary cap, though, is what I'm telling you.
And there's no luxury tax, right?
Yeah. So it's a hard
and there's no
cap.
luxury tax.
So you can't go over the cap like the NBA. So that's why the NBA can do all that crazy shit, because they can just pay a luxury tax. So they got all these crazy, like, incentives, and they got these crazy, like, what are these, like, the mid-level exceptions and all kind of crazy. Like, I've been with this team for 3 years, so you can pay me $6 more million. You can't do that, man.
Jay, if you school me on this. If you sign a 4-year deal and say 2 of them are guaranteed, I cut you after the second year, you saying those last 2 years count against the cap?
Yes, that's dead money against your cap until contract is up.
Signing bonuses.
Yeah, only thing that doesn't, like, whatever you get up front does not count against the cap. Everything that you're paying me as salary after my signing bonus, whether you get it or not, it stays on your cap. It stays on your books for the team until your contract is up. So that's just dead money. That's why they can't do that shit in the NFL, is what I'm saying. Because then you're paying Earl Thomas $20 million because he was a good player, while Russell Wilson goes and signs with the Cardinals because you can't afford him.
Yeah.
It would be nice. I agree with that. But you can't do it. But that being said, I agree.
They can let him go. They ain't gonna
do that. I agree with. They need to. Yeah, they need to let that man let him.
Yeah, they need to let that man go. Yeah.
But that being said, 2 things. I'm writing this date down because Keyonne finally said something nice about a Steeler. And 2, I agree with you. I think it's Troy Polamalu. Simply because all the safeties I've seen, Ed Reed was great, Brian Dawkins was great, John Lynch was great, Steve Atwater was great. Troy Polamalu is the only player I've ever seen at safety that you couldn't game plan for. Like Keyonne said, like you didn't know what he was going to do. He knew what you were going to do, but you didn't know where he was going to line up. I seen this man line up at middle linebacker.
Yeah.
And end up playing corner on the opposite side of the field. Like, it's crazy. Like,
as video game stuff.
Yeah. Again, like, it's stuff that, like, if I was playing you in Madden, I was, ain't nobody gonna do that in real life. You cheating. So that's what I said. But I also told Al this weekend when I walked in on that conversation, I think the most underrated safety in the history of the league is Darren Woodson. Like Cowboys. Like, Darren Woodson was amazing. There's no way to me he's not like hog consideration.
But you know who reminds me of Polamalu a little bit? A reminder, the Honey Badger.
Yeah,
I think was he just got getting hurt.
Yeah,
but he did the weird stuff too. Like he knew. I don't know if he seemed to know where the play was gonna go.
Yeah.
It's players like that made me all jump all over me. I would have my defense full of like strong safeties in line. Because if I get a Honey Badger, a Polamalu, and Ed Reed, all of my defense.
But that's what Arizona did. That when in that run with Bruce Arians, like they all 3 of their linebackers were like safeties, and they had 2 safeties, and then they had corners, and like
Buchanan,
smart safety,
like and then they blitzed everybody. Like so, that's how Todd Bowles got. He's the orchestrator of that defense.
Now see. Now, Gerald, when I say this, they just jump all over me and attack me to the point where I just don't say nothing. See, you see my points have some resonance. But
say what?
Anyway.
What have you said that made sense before? What are you talking about?
I'm not the strong safety thing, but anyway, I'm not even gonna. Anyway, let's just.
I agree with you. I ain't never heard you say that, but I agree. In today's NFL, I absolutely agree with that.
I gotta see the beauty about this is we recorded, so I can go find the show. I just can't remember which you killed me.
Do. I don't know. I wrote an article on it. You can actually find that. I wrote an article about that on this dope ass site called Defy Life. You should check it out.
Matter of fact, this was about the draft. Nah, I didn't want to go back. We're gonna start arguing. But anyway, I'm let it go for the night.
Man, when's your 90 days up? You just mad about everything. You mad about shit I don't even say.
I just remember. I got a good memory.
I remember. How you gonna tell me I argued against you? I'm telling you, I wrote an article. All you got to do is click the search bar and just type in that shit Jay wrote, and it'll pop up. Just read it. I agree with you.
Strong safety.
You mad at me because I agree with you? What are we doing?
No, you say what's the key word to be strong safety?
Nah, I'm saying like the key word.
I'm calling your bluff right now. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. The key word would be what did I name the article? No, NFL defenses are more about, are less about positions and more about situations, basically. So there are a lot more positionless players in the NFL. Okay. I'll send it to you tomorrow. I'll send you the link. You ain't got to look for it.
I'm on it now, but okay. All right. Yeah, send it to me, too. That's a long damn search. I kind of forgot. Anyway, I got it. Send it to me. Yeah.
But yeah. So on to the second part of the actual question. So also in that conversation, Al, I walked in on, this is when I stepped out. It's when it got to this place. So you got to help me with this one. Somebody in that conversation asked me when I stepped in the room, Jay, which middle linebacker you taking all time? Lawrence Taylor or Ray Lewis? And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What?
So I was confused.
Lawrence Taylor now.
Yeah. So
is that even a question?
Yeah, that was a question. I walked away. Al straightened him out, and I was like, okay, I don't know what y'all talking about. So
was he drunk?
Of course.
Nah.
No, he wasn't.
I mean, maybe, but that ain't the issue.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. It's not.
Yeah, not even maybe, probably. Sure.
That's definitely not the issue. You're right. So Al, your question: this was the best linebacker we've seen. So this now, did you take this and correct it? I mean, like all linebackers.
All linebackers.
Okay.
Who do you think is the best? Yeah, it was kind of funny because that's not how the conversation started. The conversation started more like the question I asked. We were just comparing linebackers.
Oh, okay.
Lewis gets into the Hall of Fame, so people were just talking about, where is he in terms of time linebackers, and of course, my answer to this question, Lawrence Taylor, came up, and some of the people in the room remembered him back in high school. So it was like a pretty deep conversation that we were having. But then somehow, as you kind of came in,
I was like, what?
Guys, he going, just fucked up the question. But
and then like,
but
to
me,
like, go ahead. To
me, that's hard, isn't it? Right? Because you got say somebody Derek Thomas, who your job is just to go after the quarterback, compared with a middle linebacker whose job is to like cover the field almost. Like it's almost as how do you compare those two, saying who's better or who? You know what I'm saying? Like I would think that's hard.
And I agree, it was really hard for that reason. But then I just said, you know what? Because someone got to have an answer to the question. I looked at, for Lawrence Taylor, it was his impact on the game probably gave him the nod, and that he kind of changed how linebackers were viewed. And that's pretty much where I gave him the nod. But when I started really thinking about the list of linebackers, you're right. It's really, really difficult.
Yeah. All right. So, Al, if you don't mind, let me ask it this way. We'll give a two-part answer. So, best pass rushing linebacker, i.e. Lawrence Taylor, and best off-ball linebacker.
Okay, I like that.
That works.
Okay. All right.
So, Al, again, your question. Who you got?
Okay, so my answer is still Lawrence Taylor.
Okay.
And my off-ball linebacker, I'm going with Derek Brooks.
Okay. Yeah, can't go wrong there.
That's why I always liked his game from college, and I just think he was amazing.
Brooks was a monster. All right. Pooh, who you got?
I guess the person that I can remember like seeing the most of off the ball, man, I'm gonna have to say Ray, man.
Yeah, that's why I can't even
run away from it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to say Ray. But getting after the quarterback and saying that I've seen like him play a lot. Not saying like vague and highlights and things like that. So getting after the quarterback, man, and I mean, I really love Derek Thomas, but probably getting after the quarterback, man, I don't know if I gotta say Von Miller though, man. That I've seen the most of him play, because I didn't see a lot of Lawrence, only through highlights and things like that, but just straight up getting after the ball and how this kid's grown, and that I can think of right now, I will probably have to say, damn, who did I say?
Von Miller.
Von Miller.
That guy.
Yeah, Von.
Yeah.
Von.
Mr. Von Miller, he's known throughout the Carolinas.
Oh,
True.
Yeah, and very
True.
well, very much earned. All right, Keyonne, who you got?
I'm going with Derek Thomas. I'm looking at, he got more sacks than Von Miller his first 6 years in the league.
No, I love Derek Thomas.
Yeah,
man.
I'm going with Derek Thomas.
Derek Thomas. I thought I was Derek Thomas. I thought I was Derek Thomas.
Yeah. That dude was like, I think he got 8 sacks one game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It just,
Should have had 9. Yeah, he should have had 9.
Oh, y'all remember that? Dude is Derek Thomas, man.
All right. I'm about off ball. You going Ray Lewis too?
Oh, God, I get Ray Lewis. I can't even front.
Yeah. Okay. Gerald, who you got? Luke Kuechly and who else?
Julius Pepper.
Luke. Nah, man. If Luke gives me the longevity that Ray gave me, and no pressure on Luke, because I know he's had a few concussions, but I gotta, just for longevity, you know, I gotta give that because I love Luke Kuechly is the same thing y'all was saying about Troy. I say the same shit about Luke. Like he knows every play. And man, he's already a freakish athlete. He's everywhere. But just for longevity, man, I gotta give it to those two guys that you guys were mentioning before, Derek Thomas and Ray Lewis, man. Derek Thomas was, oh man, he was a fucking nightmare, yo. Yeah. So
yeah,
I definitely got to give it to him, and Ray was a monster in his own right, man, and you know, just for, you know, two of the best I've ever seen, and I agree with Thomas. I just don't remember enough about Lawrence Taylor watching him. Like I was young, you know, so I definitely would rank him above those two guys, but I only saw him through highlights. I only saw him through, like, you know, ESPN and stuff like that, and I wasn't really a student of the game when I was watching him play either. So yeah, for when I understood exactly what was happening every time it was happening, I gotta say Derek Thomas and Ray Lewis.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I would have to go with, I mean, Lawrence Taylor was my first favorite player. He's still my favorite player of all time. So that's all I did was watch Lawrence Taylor when I was little. I remember getting into a fight when Jersey's numbers were being picked in middle school because I had to have 56. So Jason Mack, I'm sorry I beat your ass to get that number. But I will issue that apology officially on Facebook if I have to, because we are Facebook friends. But I'm sorry. But yeah, Lawrence Taylor like changed blocking schemes. There was no such thing as left tackles blocking outside linebackers until Lawrence Taylor came along. Joe Gibbs changed that specifically for Lawrence Taylor. Like, that's crazy when you change the way the game has been played.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy to me. And yeah, as much as I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm obligated to hate the Ravens, but Ray Lewis is the best, like, hands down the best inside linebacker I've ever seen. It ain't like. And I get it. Derek Brooks was the beast. So that's like splitting halves for me. But I guess I saw so much of Ray Lewis playing against the Steelers. It was just, and his leadership ability, like just the way he motivated people. I hate him as a person. Well, I ain't gonna say as a person, but what I see of him, his persona. I'll put it that way. But on the field, it wasn't nobody touching Ray. Ray was nasty.
And like Palomalo, he knew what was going to happen before it happened. You could tell, but he could look at the formation, and he just was in the right. And even if he didn't know, he was so damn big and strong, he could just push out the way.
And quick.
Yeah. And that's the thing about, like, I guess when you look at, like, players like Ray and Derek Brooks, like, as linebackers, to be the focal point of great defenses. You know what I'm saying? Like, all-time great defenses, like Derek Brooks, Tampa Bay, Ray, and like they stood out amongst all that greatness around them. So that's huge for me.
But the best players on their team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like there were times when Ray Lewis outscored the offense.
Yep. I mean, and Derek Brooks was playing with Warren Sapp.
Because Baltimore couldn't score.
Yeah, and neither could Tampa at some points. Like,
I think at some point they weren't even really trying anymore. They just don't throw an interception. Just go and punt.
That was the game plan. Don't fuck it up. Just don't fuck it up. Yeah. So, but anytime you get, like, you start listing out names like LT, Lewis, Brooks, you splitting hairs. Thomas, all great players. Yeah. So Al, you also asked this question: which player from your favorite teams? Again, we'll double back around. So I start with the Cowboys. I hit you with the Jets last. Which player from the Cowboys do you think deserves to be in the Hall?
So I thought about this. Unquestionably, if I had a vote and my vote could get somebody in, I would put Drew Pearson in.
Oh
wow. The original '88 wide receiver.
First of all,
a player.
Okay. I thought Drew Pearson was in the Hall of Fame, so I'm learning something right now. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, to my recollection, I'll check this while we talk.
No, I'm sorry, he probably is. I ain't disagreeing with you. I don't have like.
But to mine, he's not.
I always assumed. Yeah, I just always assumed he was.
Was a dominant wide receiver, made big plays in big games, was part of the play that created the name Hail Mary that is now just normal language in the football field, football game. But before that play with him and Starback, there was no play called the Hail Mary. So, like, he just needs to be in the Hall of Fame. So that's how I go with Drew Pearson.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Okay, that's dope.
Oh yeah, I've been on this planet for a few days, so I got some.
Okay. Huh. I might put.
He's not in the Hall of. He's not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
He's the only offensive player for the first team not to move in like the Hall. Yeah, he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Huh. I'm gonna have to start digging into over some Drew Pearson stuff because I might have to start advocating for him.
Yeah.
All right, Pooh. What Chicago Bear should be in the Hall of Fame? Who's not?
Who is not? Man. That's tough. Could I give you who should get into the Hall of Fame? I don't think his time is up. But I want to say I think Devin should make it. I think Devin should get in the Hall of Fame.
Devin Hester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just as a kick returner, like just being that great of a kick returner.
That great of a special teamer, as in changing the out. I mean, he carried. I mean, the defense played well, but man, he carried us to the Super Bowl. He put points on the board for us for years. Not only not only the Super Bowl year, but he was our sole lone offense. Him and a run game. Him and Thomas Jones, and so man, he did more for us than our quarterbacks did.
Yeah, he's definitely the best returner of all time. I mean, to me, easily. One, just not just how good he was, but usually returners have a very short lifespan, and for Hester to last as long as he did, like you look at like Dante Hall
over Deion. Over Deion?
Yeah, I would say over Deion, just because like Deion's peak as a returner was probably higher than Hester's, but his longevity as just a returner, I don't think it matches Hester's. And Hester's got the record for most returns, touchdowns in history. Like,
but I don't even know. And Jay, and not because I'm a Bears fan, because I'm a more Deion fan than I am Hester's. Yeah. I absolutely love Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
But I don't even know at his peak that every time they kicked it to Devin Hester, you thought he was going to score.
That is true. Yeah.
So I'm not even going to give him at his peak because like every time someone kicked it to us, the fans are up. Like they think this kid gonna score. What's up, money?
Every time they kick that shit to prime time.
I was going to say
every time Deion Sanders touched the ball, if Deion picked up a fumble, every time Deion touched the ball, you thought he was gonna score. So I feel that for Hester, but I can make that same argument for prime time.
That's true.
I could give you that.
But I'm with you, Pooh. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I was just asking.
But I do think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I think Deion might have had more memorable returns just as he's Deion. The high step.
Right.
Right. Yeah. But, yeah. I agree with you. All right. Keyonne, which Falcon should be in all? By the way, I thought you were going to go Lance Briggs, but.
We did Lance dirty near the end, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Keyonne, outside of Michael Vick, who should be in the Hall of Fame from the Atlanta Falcons?
I'm gonna say I don't appreciate the snickering. I'm gonna say Roddy White.
Roddy, okay.
Yeah. And I mean,
Why is that?
He had a long career as far as consistency goes for a wide receiver, and I don't expect him to get in. I think wide receivers catch hell to get in the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? But he was consistent for a long time in wide receiver years, and that's basically all I got. I mean, the list is kind of short. There ain't that many Falcons that had that many great careers, but he went over.
What about Pat Kearney? Oh, go ahead, Jay.
John Abraham got to be a Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think about John. Whoa.
Let me pull it up. But,
What? Hold it up.
I got to see how long he.
But it took Roddy White so long to get to his peak, isn't it? He was there for 4 years.
Kind of slow.
No, his third year in the league, he was 1,200 yards.
His third year?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
okay.
he ain't have a quarterback. His second year.
Okay. Yeah, Tuggle's a good one.
Yeah, Tuggle's a good one.
So I had to spell
what about that? What's that kid? Didn't they have a Robinson kid, a safety or something that was super good for Eugene? Okay.
Now he should be in the Hall of Fame just for just trying to get a hook at the Super Bowl. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Anybody buying hoes the night before the Super Bowl, the biggest night of your life.
The biggest night of your life.
Or Hall of Famer. That's what I'm talking about.
Nah, Jay, I don't know about John Abraham.
The douchebag Hall of Fame.
John is he's what, 10th, 11th all time in sacks.
I'm just looking at it. I don't know. It's off and on. He had years. He had 6 sacks. He had 4 sacks, 5 sacks, 9 sacks. And then in between, when I'm calling out, he had 16, 13, 10. It was like he was not consistent every year. He just
that's every
10, 10, 10, 10, 10. You know?
Yeah, but I would ask you to look at every pass rusher. That's usually how it works.
No, hell no, not Derek Thomas and Von Miller and you know what I mean. They were doubling up every year. I was just looking at it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Von Miller, how many sacks does he have through? And I'm even looking at Von Miller because Von Miller's only been in the league 6 years. I'm talking about.
And he's had at least 10 sacks for every year. Every year he's been in the league at least 10.
Okay, but this is not an argument of John Abraham versus Von Miller. What I'm saying is, John Abraham has an NFL a Hall of Fame worthy career. Von Miller's 6 years in. His cement's still wet, right? I'm saying look back at
his
the totality. The totality of his career, you can't really because that's what the Hall of Fame ain't based on you know what I'm saying, the peaks and valleys. Hall of Fame is based on the totality of your career, right?
Okay, I guess.
No, I'm saying it is.
I heard you say moments before. What's John Abraham's moment?
I mean, but that. Damn, you gonna let me answer? I don't necessarily think he has a moment, but I think he's a Hall of Famer.
He don't get in. God damn it!
There are players that don't. I say no. What I always say is the NFL is about moments, and I say there are players, i.e., John Stallworth, Lynn Swann, Marcus Allen, guys who may not necessarily, I wouldn't agree, are Hall of Famers, but they had Hall of Fame moments, right? And that's what pushes them over the edge. I never said you have to have moments to get into the Hall of Fame. There's a difference. You get what I'm saying?
I get tired of you taking both sides of the argument. You see, my memory is so fucking good. I remember when you just said we argue about a guy, and then you be like, he doesn't have a moment. What is his moment? What's his moment? Then I start believing you. Okay, you're right. Then. So that's the standard. Now you're telling me he doesn't have a moment. He should still be in the league. Because
what I'm saying is, I guarantee you, when they start lining up them bitch ass Falcons to go into the Hall of Fame, Roddy White gonna be way at the back of the line. Roddy White gonna have to buy a fucking ticket to get into that line. John Abraham will at least get invited. I'm just saying.
Does Atlanta have a Hall of Fame player?
Keith Brooking?
Deion Sanders is in there as a Hall of Fame player.
Man, he did that as a favor. That's the same as Dominique accepting that fucking statue.
Your greatest cornerback of all time is in the Hall of Fame as an Atlanta Falcon.
He
So
did that because y'all the only one. Tommy Novus, I know more about your team than you do. You know that, right? Tommy Novus should probably be in there.
anybody before 2001, good luck.
See,
that's the year I moved here. Before then, I mean, whatever. Chris Chandler.
But you mad at Josh for saying you ain't watch football before 2003?
Chris Chandler.
I mean, no.
Chandler.
That's one of the only players I know before 2000, 2001.
Oh, I thought you were saying he needed to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Wow. Next
I'm
about to say next you're gonna throw Michael Turner and Jamal Anderson. Like,
Jamal, Dirty Bird.
He had a hell of a little
2-year run.
You had to buy a ticket. Well, all I'm saying, in all seriousness, John Abraham is much higher on that list than Roddy White. I know you got an affinity for Roddy, but Roddy White is never gonna see Hall of Fame like mentioned.
No, not even a little bit. He might not even see the Falcons Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor, whatever they got.
No, don't say
that's
that. No,
possible.
He's like right now. He's number 2 all time in Falcons, and because Julio the jumped in front of him, but he still has a lot of records. He still has I can't even entertain that argument. Don't send me that direction.
Come on, man.
He's a Falcon, a Hall of
Great. He might,
because that threw me off. But
okay. Hall of Fame. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
But you asked me, right? So that's why I said Roddy White, and I said receivers come catch hell getting in. Just take it all in context. All I'm saying is, I can't think of a moment like before you argue one side and then you just switch and argue the opposite side of the same argument.
Yeah, because you pulling this straw man because you want to make this about me, but it's about sorry ass Roddy White, right? And so what I'm telling you is Roddy's not a Hall of Famer. Yeah, I asked you, but now I'm telling you, you're fucking wrong. He's not a Hall of Famer.
You said most John Abraham's moment. Like, I got to look at his stats. It was
he's not even close to being a Hall of Famer.
No, Roddy.
Hey, bro. I mean, what can I say? You know what I mean? John Abraham
somebody
played for 3
Roddy White.
You can name somebody else. Yeah.
John Abraham played for 3 different. He's all I got.
How about work done?
Nah.
Man.
I mean, walk ahead of Roddy.
How many teams did Roddy White play for?
1, right?
All right. So that's my Falcon Hall of Fame.
So he was
all right.
So he was
everybody y'all name was going to play on the 4, 5, 10 other teams. This is my Hall of Fame guy. All right. Thank you.
So he was mediocre for just y'all. Is that what you're saying?
That's my Hall of Fame. That's my Falcon Hall of Fame.
That's his moment, being mediocre.
You giving me guys that play for the Jets.
Did anybody say Brooklyn?
That's what I said. Keith Brooklyn. He threw that back at me. He didn't want to hit Keith Brooklyn.
I don't know, man. Roddy White had more success. He had more success. I mean, for real, like Keith Brooklyn playing on some bum ass teams, man.
So
I don't think Roddy White had a losing season. Well,
what?
2. What? He had 3 losing seasons in
7.
No.
Okay, 9. Okay, he never wins shit. Like, I'm sorry, but it wasn't not like a running team. It was like a running.
Did he ever make the Pro Bowl?
Roddy White, yeah. Hell yeah.
What? 2.
Hell yeah.
1.
When?
I can say 2008, 2009, 2010,
I'm sure he probably
and 11.
Yeah, Roddy.
Motherfucker.
He had a couple good years. Now.
Yeah, and he made the All-Pro team a year. I mean, I don't know what y'all like. I'm talking about like the 3rd string damn running back or some shit. Roddy White was a great player. He had a run. He wasn't
a great player, man. You throwing that.
He was a great player. He was the best receiver in the league at one point in his career. Yeah.
So on to my Steelers, who I think should be in the Hall of Fame. This is crazy.
Don't get me started, man.
We have apparently started drinking. You mean Jesus, the best receiver in the league? Okay.
And 115 catches, 1,300 yards. I mean, my
ain't
man
saying he was bad, but like, come on, man, you throwing around that great word. Like, Roddy was great. Nah. But anyway,
yeah.
I don't know. My still who I think should be in the Hall of Fame is Donnie Shell. I think Donnie should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
Yeah. South Carolina's own Donnie Shell, who one of the best safeties in the league. I just think the Hall of Fame voters got kind of like tired, like they just got like tired of putting Steelers into the Hall of Fame back from that '70s team, and he was one of the ones that was left out. So Donnie Shell and / L.C. Greenwood should both be in the Hall of Fame. But
what was Donnie Shell's moment?
What was Donnie Shell's moment?
Yeah, that's the standard.
He had one of the biggest. If you want to be a dick about it, we can, but I'm gonna give you one.
I just asked a question.
He had one of the biggest. He had one of the biggest interceptions in the history of the Super Bowl when he secured a victory. You want one about L.C. Greenwood too? I know my shit about my team. I ain't just pulling out shit out of my ass about Roddy White.
Somebody told you that shit. You ain't seen that shit.
I've seen
somebody
highlights.
Told
of course,
you.
I wasn't born yet.
All right,
that's what's even sadder about it. Somebody told you Roddy. Somebody told you Roddy White.
I saw Roddy White play.
You saw Roddy White play. You
heard
still
about
think
that
he was
shit.
great. I can't wait till your 90 days.
That
Anybody got a calendar? This nigga just mad about everything.
Talk about players you don't even know actually existed. I'm talking about a guy I know I seen play with my own eye.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
Well, when you listen to the show, you're going to have a nice surprise. It's your sound effect for this week. Roddy White sucked, man. I'm sorry to tell you. He didn't have a moment, and he couldn't play. Like, he didn't have none of that shit you're talking about.
He led the league in catches in 2010.
Catches? Man.
Yes. That's what receivers do, right?
But for 1 year, and he was a Hall of Famer.
I say he was the best receiver in the league at one point, and that's my point. 2010, he led all receivers in the whole league in catches.
Man, me and you gonna.
Gerald. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
No, that don't mean you're the best receiver in the league because you have the most catches. What?
Gerald, don't fall for this shit. I agree with this.
I can't. What I'm saying is I can't dispute the stat. That's what I'm saying.
No.
I'm not saying he the best. I'm not saying he the best. I'm saying he had the most catches in the league that year, in
the league, and he was number 2 in yards. Act like I'm supporting this guy.
Okay, so 1 year.
I'll give him that point. That year, for that year.
See, the thing is, when I said it, everybody and didn't even let me finish. Y'all probably heard I had said
because ain't nobody ever said that shit before because it ain't true. Ain't nobody in Roddy White mama ain't never said Roddy White the best receiver in the league. His position coach ain't never looked at Roddy White ain't never looked at himself in the mirror and be like, you know what, you the best receiver in the league.
For 2010, he was right, and he had a 4-year run that was held. But anyway, this is enough about Roddy White. We moved on to these guys that you heard played a long time ago. So let's forgive me for interrupting.
Well,
Go ahead.
I did see John Abraham play, and that nigga was 10 times better than Roddy White at what he did. He was the best pass rusher in the league for several years, not just 8 weeks in 2010. But I digress.
A little inconsistent for me, but that's cool. He was a little inconsistent, but I don't dislike John Abraham. I think the Falcons should have paid him that, and they let him go. And he got 11 sacks the next year for the Cardinals. So
how about that?
Yeah, but he was out the league year after that.
Y'all don't pay nobody.
They felt he was old, but it actually worked out. It worked out.
I don't know, but yeah. I think everybody like that really seriously knows football agrees that Roddy White ain't seeing the Hall of Fame.
That's fair. Yeah. I think I actually said it when I first said it. I said receivers catch hell getting in, but I would say Roddy White. Well, I thought that was the question.
What's Roddy White like? I mean, you like looking up stats and shit. Like, where does he rank? Like all-time receptions, all-time yards.
Oh shit, man! Nah, probably way down the list.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he way down the list.
Exactly. Where does John Abraham rank all-time sacks?
I really don't know. I can pull it up for you.
Oh, now you can. Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. You looking up everything else? I thought you was a stat man tonight.
I could pull that up. All-time stat.
Now it's a chore.
No, I'm doing it now. I know Roddy White's way down the list, so even though he's looking, I ain't even gonna look because this is way, but he had a run. So John Abraham is, drum roll please, number 12. Number 12 all time. So that's he had a good career.
I mean, you just saying like you talking like I'm crazy. John was a much better player than Roddy, like career wise. I ain't talking about in your heart. I'm talking about like
again. How many teams did Roddy White play for?
What is that? Okay. I don't know.
Didn't you? Wasn't that the question? Falcons, right? So that's why I say right. Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Okay.
Question of the week. I don't know what you're talking about.
You ain't gonna ask me though?
Damn, see? My bad. I figured you was gonna say Roddy White too, man.
Now, Gerald, make sure you say somebody he like, or y'all gonna start arguing. I'm just saying.
Didn't I give everybody an alternative that I thought they may say? And this nigga took offense because I said somebody other than Roddy White. I gave Pooh Lance Briggs. He didn't take offense to it, but for some reason, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I just hope you wipe your mouth when you finish with Roddy, because I don't know what Roddy done did to you. But Gerald, please give me a Carolina Panther that you feel deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Man, you guys know who I'm gonna say. Timonga Biaka Batuka, baby.
Sam, you about to say Sam Mills?
Yeah.
B.I.
Oh yeah.
B.I. baby. No, man. I'm not gonna say Sam Mills. Okay. I'm not gonna say Sam Mills. But for what Sam Mills did, I'm not gonna. He doesn't have Hall of Fame type numbers for what he did in Carolina, so I'm not gonna say Sam Mills. But he's in the Carolina Ring of Hall and all of that already. So, but in the NFL Hall of Fame right now, one former Carolina Panther comes to mind, and it's Steve Smith.
He's gone.
I think on the show last week, I think I said he's the best Panther, to ever. Best player ever don a Panthers uniform. So I really, same sentiments this week. Smitty, man. I remember, the 2005 NFC Championship game when we went out to Seattle, and they had DNs on them and linebackers and safeties and corners, and four guys was just like Steve would be on that side of the field by himself, and there were four Seahawks over there with him. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
And
he was stiff arming and pushing folks out the way. Yeah.
And we couldn't get that kid the ball, and there was like, fuck it, Steve, go return punts, and that kid Smith finally got his hands on the ball, and y'all know what he did. Like that gave us our first 7 points. He took that shit to the house. Like Steve Smith cost coaches their jobs.
He played angry.
And yeah, he played angry. Yo, I used to love watching the kid play. Triple Crown winner. I think he's number 12 on the NFL all-time receptions list. I mean, and he spent a couple of years out for the season, So just what he was able to do, man, in his stature, I remember a guy hitting him, and breaking his forearm, and the kid just, playing the rest of the game. I mean, toughness and attitude, and it's crazy because I saw a report that came out saying today that he played a lot of his career depressed. So I really feel bad for him. Yet I came strolling across the ESPN timeline tonight. But yeah, man, I miss Smitty. I wish he could have played his whole career here, but we had Gettleman, who was a prick, and let him out the door. But yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. But yeah, man, Steve Smith definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame from the Carolina Panthers.
No doubt. Yeah. No, Steve. I don't know if anybody exists that doesn't respect Steve Smith's game.
Oh yeah. When I saw that Seattle game, I had never seen anything like that before. Like that was insane. And I was yelling. Of course, I was yelling at the TV because I wanted Jake to just find someone else to throw to. Like, you think that would be the You think that would be the solution? But man, I mean, what that kid did in countless playoff runs to the Eagles and to the Bears and to Seattle to, New England and Arizona, like he just, whoever you put in front of him, they couldn't do anything with him, and he single-handedly said good night to a lot of teams.
I was mad that the Falcons didn't give him a shot after that. He would have been super motivated to play against Panthers twice a year, but they didn't. They went after, I can't remember if that was the year they got Sanu or not, but they went after another veteran. I think that was the year they got Sanu, and then Steve Smith went on to Baltimore. I never understood that, why they ain't go after him, and he balled out at least the first year at Baltimore. So
he played ball. He played ball. He played against us. And had like 12 catches for 200 yards,
Showed
and 2
up.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
So imagine how he would have played, seen him twice a year.
That was the famous Ice Up Son game. Ice Up Son. You told Josh Norman, and Ice Up, son.
Yeah.
All right. Well, question of the week. It's kind of a two-parter, right? First of all, Keyonne, you mentioned to us earlier this week on, you wanted kind of on the fence about how to teach your son how to lose without accepting it's okay to lose, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. It's definitely, especially when they're young, to kind of teach them to kind of toe that fine line. So what I wanted to do. And this is the beauty of this, right? So, Al, your son is a young adult. Me and Pooh's sons are about the same age. So, Al, from your perspective, what are the things you've had to teach your son, as a kid and now through adulthood, as far as, being competitive, not accepting, defeat as a given, but also knowing that you're also not going to win it all the time? Did we lose Al?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Pooh, I'll move to you. What are those things you teach your son about losing and not accepting loss as a given?
Oh man, that's a tough fence to straddle. I just go into it as in, as long as he exerts everything that he has and don't leave anything in reserve, because I just told him, and I talked to him about myself as well, but I said some people are motivated by winning, and you have to find out the type of person you are. I said, but I'm the type of person that's motivated for not losing, because I don't want to be known as the loser. And it's just like due process that the opposite of not losing is winning. So but it's just the feeling of being a loser that drives me to no end to do whatever I have to do to not to lose. And not saying, and I just told, in fact, what's crazy, I had to talk with him tonight because, the kid was getting, jumped all over the field and thrown around. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, dude, that really hurt me. It hurt me to my heart to see you, being done like that out there. And I said, it's not if you're playing against a kid and I think, the kid is more talented than you, I can accept that because some people are just more talented. I said, but if I see out there that you're not coming out there and you don't have the desire and because, everyone's born with a heart, and desire. But if someone showing me that they want it more than you, I just can't, that's what I can't excuse. I can't excuse the work ethic. I can't excuse that. But basically, I just go along with that. It's about the work ethic and desire and what you put in it. Sometimes you're just gonna face an opponent or someone that's just more talented than you. You know, but that don't mean you concede the victory. I mean, concede the loss. You go out there and give it all you can. You know, you may lose some battles, but you have to try not to lose the war. You know, you don't want to lose the war.
How did you get this across to a little kid, like when he was real little, like 3 or 4, like, you know what I mean, without going over his head, like basically this is what confused me. So you tell him to try harder. Well, sometimes, but you're still not gonna be faster than the person that's racing.
Right.
So how do you then make it say, well, you're not gonna beat them, and it's okay. Like that part, I'm rest. Like how, you know, is it okay? Is it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How did you do that when he was 3 or 4, or, you know?
I mean, basically, I never went out there and was like, you know what, if you don't beat him, then it's okay. I always tell him that if you give me 110%, and I can see that you're giving me 110%, and you fall short, I'm still gonna love you, you know, because you're my son, and I see you done everything you need to do, and you fall short. That's fine with well, not that's fine, but I'm still gonna accept who you are, and that you gave it 110%. I don't never say that it's fine with losing, but I always tell him that he's still loved, and he's still in, you know, I'm still proud of him, so to speak. I never say that it's okay, but I just let him know that if that happens, I'm still proud of you for giving me everything that you have. I'm only disappointed in you when you don't give me everything you have. If you get that, if you understand what I'm saying.
Totally understand.
Okay.
So I think like, I don't have any sons, but I have a lot of nephews.
Yeah.
And one of the main things that I try to teach them are the 2 things I was always taught. You know, effort and compete. You know, so I think it all boils down to, you know, are you giving me effort? And while you're giving me effort, are you competing? You know, so are you competing against the person across from you? Or you can, you know, like no matter what it is, you know. So from a standpoint of being like, you learn how to be okay with, okay, I went out there and I gave everything I could. I competed and I gave all the effort I could. I just didn't turn out on top this time, you know. So maybe there was something I can do differently the next time that'll make sure, you know, that I do, you know, maybe I train a little harder, or maybe I, you know, lift a couple, you know, but you have to execute the first part of the process in order to get to the next part where you know how to, you know, you kind of know how to up your level, but you always have to compete and give effort. You know, maximum effort, maximum competition, and then you can always go from there. But like those kids know, if like at the very least, I demand that. You know, so a lot echoing a lot of what Pooh said. You know, if you aren't giving me that, and I can see that, that's the only time I'm actually disappointed. But either way, like, I love you, you know, either way, but we're gonna have a talk about the effort if I notice that you wasn't giving it.
I think it's easier to talk to an older kid than a younger kid sometimes. I'm kind of ready for the teenager, but the younger kid, it's just don't. It's like words can be too big, and just the understanding can get lost.
Nah, but don't worry about the words being too big. Just speak to him as if he knows it, and if he asks you what does something mean, you just think about something more in layman's terms to give him that way. Because don't never speak to him at the age that he is. Always speak to him as he is a young adult. I always have.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I told my kids from a young age, since they were old enough to understand what I was saying, I'm gonna treat you like a man until you force me to treat you like a boy. All right. So I've always talked to my sons like men. Not not like cuss them out and shit like we do, but so like, I speak to them like they know what I'm saying. Like Pooh said, if they ask me what something means, I'll explain it to them. I've never like baby talked them, so they're accustomed to speaking to me like a man. And I definitely piggyback on what both of you said about effort and intensity and competition, especially when you're in the realm of competition. But what I also try to do, I've never made like winning and losing like this zero-sum game for my kids, right? Like if you lose, that's it. Or if you lose, you lost. I've always left that door open to, when you lose, you learn. So what did you learn from this? What can you do to get better? And also understand that sometimes it don't matter how hard you work. There's somebody out there working harder than you, first of all. And sometimes it don't matter how hard you work. This dude gonna keep beating the shit out of you all the time. That's just how it is sometimes. All you can control, and what you can control is how hard you try. But sometimes you're gonna wake up and you're gonna keep meeting the same dude who keeps beating you and keeps beating you. Or you're going to end up meeting this dude who you thought you was working hard and you thought you was busting your ass all summer to get better, and you're going to meet this dude in AAU who's been busting his ass even harder. And he going to come show you how real hard work is. And you're going to have to go back and try again. So it don't matter, like the winning and losing in the moment is not what I try to focus on with my kids. It's always the bigger picture. What you learn from that and what you can get from it. And at any age, kids like they hate to lose, and so they can't see that bigger picture. So I've always tried to ingrain that bigger picture into them from a young age. Just what can you learn from this moment? What can you do to get better? And I'm gonna take your word for it. Whatever you give me as your commitment, I'm gonna push you through it and help you with it. As long as you telling me that's what you want. Now, if you come to me and say, you know what, I don't really like this, okay, I'll fall back. But if you telling me you want to get better at this and this is what you want to do, I'm gonna push you.
Let me ask you this: when y'all play games, do you let them win?
Absolutely.
Like, absolutely not. Even when they were younger, though, say we was like 4 or 5, racing.
No,
really?
No. Wow. Never.
Okay.
Not even once.
I take my kids to the court every Sunday, and my youngest one is better at basketball than my oldest one. So my 9-year-old, I skunk him 10-0 every week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I pat him on the head every week and say, "You getting better. One day you'll be able to beat me, but I ain't gonna let you beat me."
Nah.
Nope. Not even. Nope. Nope.
Okay, that's okay.
And guess what my competition level is?
What's that?
All the way turned up.
Yes.
Hey.
All the way.
Hey.
Pulling up threes and all kind of shit. Yeah.
Well, don't you think it could have an effect of turning them off on a sport? Like, the hell, it's too hard.
Mm-mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? No. Okay.
No.
Hey, Key, true story. I'm hooping with my son. I really feel bad. I really feel like a douchebag about this. I'm hooping with him in the house. We got the little goal in the house, and I'm, throwing my bowls and going up, throwing it down on him, and shit. I knocked his 2 front teeth out.
Damn.
and I was like I felt my little bow hit him. And then I looked funny, and I mean, I lost it. I was crying and whatever, but I mean, because I kind of lost it at the moment, But and like, no bullshit, my wife went bananas.
I can imagine.
She went bananas. She went bananas. But I totally knocked his front teeth out.
Wow.
Yeah, he was 4 years old. And he was like, "It's all right, guys."
This wasn't even last week. This was this was years ago. He was a toddler. He was a toddler.
Anyway.
Right. He was a young kid, and I don't know, because he doesn't, like, he's not like ultimately aggressive, and that's probably from not. I don't know what's that from. Maybe he's just not an aggressive kid because, like with grades and academics, he's an aggressive person. You know, if he bring home a B or whatever like that, he'll cry and all kind of stuff like that. I need to do better. Like, but in sports, if he lose or whatever, he's like, you know, or he's sitting on the sideline. He's like, I was like, yo, you realize you was on the sideline? He was like, nah. I mean, you know, I didn't get in because I wasn't supposed to get in. And I was like, what? Dude, you was on the sideline the whole game. You know, but so it's not like it's not. I don't know, but he wants to play and everything. So I don't know. You know, maybe I don't know if he'll develop that but he's huge and he's super strong. But I don't know. But football is like barbaric, you know, and like in the trenches you have to be a barbarian, or you won't play. You know, so he's such a huge teddy bear, and I don't know if he'll ever be like as a lion mentality on the, and I told like I said, I had the conversation tonight. I was like, dude, I know you're gonna be great, whatever you choose to do. I mean, if you want to do this, I mean, I'm gonna continue to stand by you and let you do that. I said, but I'm just letting you know, football is aggression. Football is barbaric, and if you don't want to, get yourself hurt, you know, you have to go out there and spar with them. Period. You know, but you know, I'm off that horse. Yeah.
Nah. I got one general consensus tonight. I believe that my son win, and he ain't how to lose. All three of y'all was like, no.
Nah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To this day.
Yeah. Now,
you owe for 197 against me, kid.
Yeah, but now no, what I don't do is I don't rub their face in it. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But I let them know, you know, you're getting better. This is what you need to work on. But you know, maybe one day you'll beat me. You will beat me.
Yeah.
Keep trying.
Right.
You know, but I won't rub their face in it. But I definitely ain't gonna let them win.
No, I can't.
Not at all.
Can't do it.
Because I feel like, to me, and I say this about anything, whether it's beating me at something, whether it's having a drink with me, anything, I feel like my sons have to earn that right. You know,
Right.
I want them to look at that as a pivotal moment in their life. Like, man, I remember when I beat my dad. Because I remember when I beat my dad for the first time. You know, and I always tell my, you know, I remember the first time I had things in like life. Like, I look back and I think those should be like moments that you have. But like, I always tell my kids, like, you probably, like, my kids like look at me like, man, Dad, you good? You know, I was like, you know, and I tell them a lot of times, you probably won't, like, you may not ever be as good as I was, because for one, you ain't got the father that I had. You know, like, I can't, like, there's a lot of shit that I ain't gonna do that my father did to make me as good as I was at certain shit.
Like what? Like, give me an example.
You know, like, my father would, like, I mean, from whether it's little shit like kicking me out of the house all day and forcing me to go outside, like, you know, like that kind of, like, don't come back in my house. I don't understand, you hot and you tired. What you mean? You tent, you know, that kind of shit. Or literally, like angles, or like Pooh, like several times, pushing me down, you know, playing against me, like backing me down. Like, my pops wasn't great at basketball, but he was great at, like, beating like, he was great at winning, because he knew, like, you know, he had old man strength. He could back me down until I got bigger than him. But you know, so, like, really roughing me up on the court, taking me out in the yard, saying, "Oh, you playing offensive guard now? I'm gonna show you what guards got to go through." That kind of shit. Like, there's on a certain level I'll go to, like being physical and embarrassing my pops would embarrass the shit out of me in the backyard because he could. You know what I'm saying? But that was his mentality. That was an old, you know, it was an old school mentality. And that's why I say, like, my kids may not ever be as good as I was because they ain't got the father that I had. And I think that speaks for a lot of our kids' generation, is they don't have the fathers that we had, so they're gonna have a lot of that barbaric mentality, or that, you know, they're not gonna be as aggressive because they weren't, you know, they're not used to it in a lot of ways.
Okay, I'm doing this blindly because there's no excuse for like I ain't say he left, but was he left like I was like 11, so before I even I was at toys, and then by the time I started getting into that stuff, it was just me. Yeah. So I'm not playing from a playbook here, but yeah.
So I don't know,
man. Keyonne, kids are so resilient, man. They really are. You like it does them no service or no favors to give them Chief wins.
Okay.
They really thrive on the next opportunity to get the win, and you're creating that sense of competition. That's what creates it. I'm like Jay. I remember I'm the son of a coach, so I remember the first time I beat my dad. Never met, and I remember being out there on the field with kids that were so much bigger and stronger and faster than me, but they were all 4, 5, 6 years older than me. But the tips and tools that my dad gave them, he gave them to me. And but no matter what the sport, now I didn't beat my dad in anything until I was in college.
Damn.
And man, but I remember, man, I had coaches, I had shooting coaches and all, and I didn't beat them until like my senior year in high school. Like I every single man, they never let me beat them. But I remember working on my game every day until I could. And then they never gloated. They told me the same thing. Like if you shoot that shot 10 times, now you hitting the 9. But I mean, I could see that. So it's all about like that, creating that organic sense of competition, and that's what that does. So you don't want to rob them of those moments of, and this is just my opinion, but you don't want to rob them of those moments of like, damn, I finally got my dad. You don't because you're gonna be their hero, forever. Yeah. So when they finally get you, it's just gonna be a moment for them.
Yeah, and they're gonna like what they're gonna like regardless, whether you let them win or not, or whether you push them or you don't. They're gonna be attracted to the sports or the activities that they like anyway. So you might as well get your wins in while you can, because when we're 60, we're gonna regret ever letting that kid win.
Well, one more question. So you playing baseball? My son loves baseball, so we play baseball. Do you beat him 15-0, or do you let him 15-14?
Like Pooh said, like I'll let him win some battles. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So whether it's I ain't gonna let him beat me, but I may pull up on a loose ball and let him get it.
Okay.
I may dribble the ball off my foot on purpose a couple times.
Okay.
I don't want to embarrass him and break his spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I ain't gonna rub his face in it. Like, I try to shoot all jump shots. I don't cross him up and go to the hole. But if I go 10 for 10 from 3, I go 10 for 10 from 3. That's on him.
Okay.
But yeah, man. It's, and like you said, like regardless of any of our it ain't no, like you said, it ain't no blueprint to this shit. There's no rule book. And what I've also learned, I have to teach each of my kids differently, because they're different people. So I'm sure if my kids are different in the same household.
Yeah,
I'm sure each of our kids are different as well. You got to learn, you got to read them the same way. We do people. So, the older he gets, the more you'll learn him, and you'll see what makes him tick, and whether he needs, and when he needs a pat on the head, and when he needs a kick in the ass. You'll see.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, good lesson. Thank y'all, because they are creating a monster by letting him win all the time. And he don't know what losing feel like.
He gonna get like 15, and you gonna really be trying. He's like, what the fuck, Daddy got so good?
No, I meant like you play with another kid and then lose and don't know how to lose.
That'll definitely be tough. And see, with me, all I did was lose. you know, when I was coming up, because I was a flat out bum. You know, I was a flat out bum.
I thought you was good.
No, I'm talking about when I was like smaller.
Okay.
You know, because like I never really picked up a basketball. I didn't pick up a basketball until I was like 10 years old, really started shooting around 10, 11, 12 years old. And when I went out to go play with the kids, like I was trash, like no one would pick me. So at that point, that's when I started to shoot 200 jumpers a day, just because I got tired of being picked last. And you never know what's gonna ignite, you know, that child or that kid. And with football, I mean, I was always a fast kid, but then I took a liking to football and moves and things like that. So I mean, but you never know what's gonna ignite the kid. And one more thing, speak to him the way that you want to speak to him, Key. Don't, because you never know what he's gonna understand. So speak to him as if he's a young man, because like you just don't know if he may get what you're saying. You know, so I mean, just don't play it short because he's a baby. But you can hear me talk to my 3-year-old Money. Jay, you hear me talk to Erickson all the time.
I was just about to comment on that. Pool kids know every word, man. I'm astonished. I'm astonished at the conversations they have.
And you know, he's 3. It's like he's 3. But I'm
forget
talking.
You got 3. Okay, I forgot you
got.
got.
I got a 3-year-old.
All right.
And I may talk to him and give him like straight up decisions and everything, but that comes from me speaking to him as if he already knows that since he's been 1 year, you know, a year old.
Yeah.
And so like always prepare him for that. Like always, no matter what. All right.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna have this as a 2-part question, but we got like 14 minutes left to do trivia. So next week I kind of want to follow up with, because there's a term that's been floating around. I've been hearing a lot lately, which kind of flows in off of this conversation is toxic masculinity. And I've been hearing a lot of people say that. So it's kind of wanted to follow up, and we'll jump on this next week about is masculinity eroding, and if so, what's the current meaning of masculinity, and what do people mean by toxic masculinity? So we'll talk about that next week. All right. So trivia, Keyonne, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. So this one, I kind of threw this together, but best I can do.
Right.
2, 3. How many questions I got? 15. You can do 5 rounds since Al ain't here. Last week Al came in first, and Gerald came in second.
Asterisk, baby. Asterisk, baby.
So I'm trying to see who go first. So Gerald come in first this week. Gerald goes first. This week it's gonna be like I was doing it before with the Jeopardy style.
Okay.
10, 20, 30 points. And here are the topics. Topic 1 is Brian Dawkins.
Okay.
This is of the Hall of Fame class.
Okay.
Topic 2, Ray Lewis, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, and I love my religion stuff. I got Bible as topic 5.
Okay. Hall of Famers in the Bible. All right.
Hall of Famers in the Bible, yeah.
Right.
But it's all the same point. So and then double points the last round. So Gerald, you go first.
Man, give me that Bible for 30, baby.
Bible for 30. What was the first miracle Jesus recorded in the Bible? Oh, and one more thing. If you lose it, it's negative points. If you it's full Jeopardy style. So what was the first miracle of Jesus recorded in the Bible?
Jesus' first miracle, he was attending a wedding party and he turned water into wine.
You are correct. Gerald's correct for 30. All right. Next is Pooh.
Man, I finished ahead of Pooh last week. What you talking about?
Well, I did. I got it in order of the names. I'll do it more elaborate in the future, but now I want to screw myself up. So I'm going Pooh next.
That sounds about right, Key.
All right.
Oh, give me. Hey, for the record, I did know that one, Gerald, but I'm not touching the Bible. Okay? For the record, I knew that one, but I'm not touching. I don't want people to think I'm a heathen. You know.
The fans already think what they think, man.
Hey, but I'm much more, more of a spiritual guy than I am a biblical guy. You know, as in the book guy. But give me Randy for the 30.
Randy for 30. Now this ain't.
I said all that to say, give me Randy for 30.
This may not go the way you thinking, Pooh, but here we go.
Oh man.
Let's see, Randy for 30, the youngest player to have 3 touchdowns in a game. 21 years, 286 days. This record would later be broken by another player who played for the same franchise as Moss, even though they never played together.
And it was a receiver? Or just any
Randy Moss, the youngest player. Randy Moss. I'm not falling for that trap again. Y'all jump all over. Randy Moss.
Okay.
Listen to the question. Randy Moss, the youngest player to have 3 receptions in a game at 21 years, 286 days.
Whoa. 3 receptions or 3 receiving touchdowns?
Touchdown.
Okay.
I'm sorry if I said it incorrectly.
Okay.
The youngest player to have 3. That would be a hell of a record. 3 catches in one game. Yes, that's a Falcon stat. The youngest player to have 3 touchdown receptions in a game at 21 years, 286 days. This record will later be broken by another player that played on the same franchise as Moss, even though they never played together.
Even though they never played together.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I thought these was about Moss, yo.
3.
That's wacky. But let me say, I'll say Rudolph.
Incorrect. This is Rob Gronkowski. Is the
when he was with the Patriots.
See, I'm thinking about. But that's kind of funny, Key.
Played for the same franchise.
But I'm thinking you talking about the Vikings, though. All right,
that's your fault.
That's so broad, though.
Fair game. Nah, it's a record. It's a 3 touchdowns in one game. The youngest guy to do it. It's clear cut. Jay,
it's
you
clear
up?
Cut, though?
Yeah.
It's tricky, but it's clear cut. I get it.
Clear cut.
You went for the 30. That's your fault.
True that.
Give me Lewis. Give me Ray Lewis for 30.
Ray Lewis. This was a little rough too. Ray Lewis was the 4th linebacker taken in 1996. Name one of the linebackers that was taken before him.
Kevin Hardy.
You are correct, Kevin Hardy.
Woo!
Good shot. Gerald,
I was actually going to be shocked if you didn't get that one, Jay.
Yeah, Kevin Hardy, Simeon Rice.
Wrong.
Simeon Rice was a defensive end. So yeah.
So you want to?
Nah.
Laughs and giggles. Okay, Kevin Hardy, Reggie Brown, and John Mobley.
Okay.
John Mobley.
So into the second round, Gerald and Jay tied at 30. Pool negative 30.
That's what it is.
Gerald, you up?
Give me that Bible for 20.
Bible for 20. I can see who going to heaven. What was the name of the mountain where Moses was given the 10 Commandments?
That would be Mount Sinai, sir.
That is correct. 20 points for Gerald. Pooh, you up? Pooh, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
No, okay.
Nah, I'm not gonna quit.
We got 5 minutes left, y'all.
All right, give me Randy for 20.
Randy for 20. There are only 2 players to have 1,600 receiving yards and 16 receiving touchdowns in a season. Randy Moss and who?
Damn, that's a lot. 1,600? Wow.
Yep. 1,600 receiving yards and 16 touchdowns in a season.
16 touchdowns.
Only 2 players ever did it in the history of the league.
Man, I don't
Randy
even think
Moss and who?
I don't even think I ever heard anything. I gotta say Jerry Rice, though.
Quite so ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
This is incorrect. It's Calvin Johnson.
Oh, he was on my mind. Calvin. By the way, Calvin Johnson was in the league with Roddy. So I'm not gonna. He was not the best receiver in the league in 2010.
Who had more catches? Anyway, Jay, you up?
Who had more touchdowns?
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. We got 3 minutes, man.
My bad.
3 minutes. You went from 14 to 3.
No,
okay,
I said we had 4 last time. Yeah.
So you said 14.
No.
We gotta go.
3.5 minutes. Yeah. So we give me Ray Lewis for 20.
In 2000, Ray Lewis had 107 tackles, which was 7th in the league. Name one player that was in front of him.
James Farrier.
And correct. It's Derek Brooks, Ronald McKinnon, Anthony Simmons, Donnie Edwards, Takeo Spikes, and Pat Tillman.
Okay.
Takeo Spikes.
Yeah. So, Jay, we got enough time to go one more round?
Yeah, we
okay.
right at
Okay, Gerald, you up.
Give me a Bible for 10.
All right. Whoever win this round gonna win, I think. This is double points. Who were the parents of Cain and Abel?
Adam and Eve.
Oh, good job. That's 20 points. So Gerald's at 70. Pooh, you up. This is the last round.
Light work.
It's the last round. Pooh, you up. Pooh gone.
That kid done quit, man.
No, Randy for 10. My bad. Randy for 10.
Okay, Randy for 10. Moss holds the record for most touchdown receptions in a season with how many?
23.
23. You are correct. That's 20 points for Pooh. You at negative 30 now. Jay, you are up.
All right. What are the
down
30-point categories left?
Terrell Owens and Brian Dawkins. Okay. So you could actually tie.
Give me T.O. for 30.
Okay, in 2002, Owens caught 100 passes in only 14 games. He was 5th in catches that year. Name one receiver that had more catches.
2002?
Yep.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Incorrect.
Marvin Harrison.
Hines Ward, Randy Moss, and Eric Moles.
Shit,
so
Larry
it's
Fitzgerald ain't coming to the league until 04. Fuck
yeah. I was like, that's why I was like, Larry wasn't in the league yet.
Yeah, I'm rushing, man.
Yeah, Gerald, you up, man. You win. So Gerald wins at 70. Pooh in second place, and Jay last at 50. I'm surprised you missed that one, but yeah, like you said, we rushing, so yeah.
That should be my second. That should be my second win in a row.
Well, should have been.
So
you lost fair and square, man. You lost fair and square.
Yeah.
Only reason you lost because Al ain't here. I mean, only reason you won because Al ain't here.
No.
Whoa.
Keyonne, you hosted, man. You got any parting shots?
Love y'all. Get good. I'm out.
All right. Gerald, parting shot.
Happy birthday to the kid.
No doubt.
And if you ain't messing with Defy Life, man, what is your life about?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thomas Stevens, what you got for me?
Hey, good vibes, man. Everybody keep doing your thing. Proud of you guys. Love you guys as well. Peace.
No doubt. Yeah. Shout out to you, gentlemen. Love you, Defy Life. And again, everybody, check us out. Defy Life Gear. Make sure you listen, follow, subscribe, and comment. We will talk to you people next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.